Hello and welcome to Shredded Cels episode 33. I am your host Alex Schmitz, and with me here today is Clara Heimberger.
Hi.
Marc Goldsmith.
Hi, guys.
And Kenneth McNulty.
Also known as me. I was thinking of another title, I couldn't get it. I was like, what would sound cool?
Draven.
I guess so.
How's it going?
It's going pretty well. I had a 2-hour walk today where I was going to Walmart to get some blank Blu-ray discs to burn my film onto, but they didn't have any, so I had to walk to Staples, and like the whole thing took forever.
That is awful.
Unfortunate.
I know.
Oh, by the way,
nice walking shoes.
I like these tennis shoes, but I've already developed a hole in them, so
Get new shoes.
that's a whole new problem.
You can go with Aaron Ford and go get some new shoes because the sandals are held together with Super Mario duct tape.
Because he's a wiener.
no, I think I have a problem with shoes because literally, like, I'll have them for 6 months and they'll break.
Yeah, same. Mine already worn down.
That's about the lifetime of a shoe.
You know who else has shoes? The people in Toradora.
They also
Oh,
Whoa,
transition.
Tie in. Actually, sometimes they don't have shoes.
Occasionally,
Hey.
like they're on the beach.
No one cares. Hey, you beach into me?
Stop.
Get it? Because beaches? No, but anyways.
What? Oh, because they were at the beach.
By the way, I did see proof of the public library. You weren't lying. It exists.
Yeah, of course it exists.
I was making sure.
Okay. Well, for those of you listening to us for the first time, you'd be interested to hear that we are part of Tech Heads, which is part of AVW Productions, a media production organization here at Ohio University.
Number one.
We here at Tech Heads do all sorts of cool stuff with video games, movies, anime, League of Legends, all sorts of cool
Music.
stuff. Music, indeed. And we do podcasts, we do videos, we got a YouTube channel, we got a new website, techheads.me. We put up all sorts of blog stuff, so
It's nice.
we're awesome. But this is Shredded Cels, an anime podcast, and as Mark mentioned earlier, we're here today to talk about the show Toradora.
Exclamation point.
Yes, a
You
2008
have to say it
anime.
energetically.
Indeed.
Toradora.
Toradora.
Yeah. Maybe this was just me. I was sort of, before I watched it, I was under the impression that Toradora was more of like a mid-2000s-y like kind of anime, but it was actually 2008, so it's pretty recent.
I thought it was just an anime.
Compared to a lot of anime, yeah.
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 So,
To put it in perspective, like you told me, it's actually newer than that one anime. That we
Gurren
released.
Lagann.
Gurren Lagann.
the one we voted number one,
Yeah.
How old is Gurren Lagann?
2007.
1 year before.
Okay.
2007 was a great year for anime.
Thanks.
But before we get into our discussion on Toradora, why don't we talk about the animation we've watched since last time? Kenny, why don't you go first?
I watched Toradora.
Anything
So
else?
it was really good. I saw clips for Yu-Gi-Oh! GX and missed it. 'Cause that show was great.
Hey, we watched something in my room.
And we watched the One Piece movie and it was so good and depressing.
That's right.
It was wonderful.
It's so good and depressing.
Z was
yeah.
the best.
Yes, Zed. Yeah, I also was there for the One Piece movie.
Lying.
Big One Piece.
JK Lols, you were there?
Oh my
Anyways, yeah, I was there for the movie and big One Piece fan. I really enjoyed the movie. The ending left me with a little bit to be desired because I felt it was a little bit rushed compared to how well the movie had been paced up to that point. But the end, like after the final battle, what happens to the villain, like they make him really sympathetic, and I love that part of the movie. It definitely shows a narrative complexity I don't think any of the One Piece movies have had up to this point.
Yep.
So good on them for that. Anything else, Kenny?
No, that's about it.
Okay.
And that ninja thing you showed me yesterday.
Yeah, Super Go.
That was awesome.
That's right. You said that was by the creators of.
Batman Pirate Man.
Yeah, that's
it's
right.
the Alex. He made it for a project in college, I think. It's like for his final animation project, and I was like, Alex, stop.
It was impressive.
It was really great. Not one little bit was rotoscoped.
Well, he has a really good name, so he's got that going for him.
Yeah, rotoscope.
He and Lindsay are the cutest ever.
Thanks. So, Mark, what have you been watching?
Let's see. So I obviously watched the
Film Z.
Film Z, which I've seen 3 times now because I watched the raw version a long time ago, like just for animation's sake. And then I watched it by myself once, and then I watched it with all you guys another time. And wow, watching the raw version was way different than watching it with subs because I didn't understand any of the backstory stuff. And then when you learn all the stuff about Z, the enemy, and like all that stuff,
Depression.
you get so sad at the end, like in a good way. But
Like
wow,
I remember I
it
was talking
really
to Laura
good.
when you saw it for the first time, and I was like, she was like, Mark's just curled up on the ground, just making
didn't
weird
move.
noises.
Mark, I'm so sorry.
I was so overwhelmed with just
You were still sad when we
feelings.
watched it in your room. You curled
Yeah.
up in your chair and was like,
Yeah.
because the moment it ends and then you learn why he's a villain, you're just like, no.
You could even argue
Why?
he's not quite a villain either.
And then there's a song. I found the song. There's a song
yeah.
that plays during that time, and anytime I hear it, I just get really emotional. I'm just
Do
like,
you hear the people sing?
well,
Not that one.
not
always
that,
have those
but that
songs.
is also an emotional song. But I have also been watching. It's really weird. This has been like usually I only watch like One Piece just because like that comes out every week. But lately I've been trying to watch some other stuff just to like see what there is. People who listen to us should know Sword Art Online. We have done that, and I've started kind of looking at that, and it's okay so far. Not loving the story, but then again, I love the premise, so I don't know. I'm hoping that kind of helps.
That's the thing about that show. It has such a great premise. It could have been like a really, really good anime, but
It's like between 2 episodes. It's like 2 years, and then 8 months, and then 3
Yeah,
months, and then
I
a couple
hate that.
weeks, and then
They-
another month.
They really need to make an anime where it's an MMO anime, but it's like really good. Please,
yeah.
that'd be really nice.
I mean, speaking of those, I never liked Dot Hack that much.
Yeah, I've heard
Yeah,
I've
I
heard
hear Dot
comparisons
Hack's good.
between Sword Art Online and Dot Hack, and basically that Dot Hack was super boring.
Maybe I watched
apparently.
every other episode, but every episode I saw was the most. It felt like it dragged. I thought I was like watching an infomercial for like an hour. I was
Oh,
like, this
God.
is awful.
That's always a good sign.
For
Okay.
Kenny to say something.
See,
so awful.
just
I've
didn't
heard
like
stuff
it.
about it. I've never seen it, so.
Right.
Might be better than I'm
and
saying it is.
The other one that I started watching is Anohana, and that's
That's
only
right.
11 episodes, and I'm already on episode like 4, I think, and it's really good. I really like it.
Yeah. Anohana's another one we did more recently. It's up there amongst my favorites. Like it really gets you
manly
in the
tears
emotions.
happen. Only
Yes.
manly tears.
All the manly tears.
No tears.
Are
Just
those ones you
dreams.
suck back in after you start crying?
Yeah.
Like,
I know, but
Yeah.
see, Anohana is like that's like genuine tears. I think the film Z movie is a good example of manly tears because that's like
Yeah.
he's so awesome.
Yeah.
They're admirational.
Yeah,
tears.
that's like Rider tears. to put it in
those were
another
real
way.
tears. What are you talking about? I was weeping.
All right,
It's before I let Clara go. The one thing is that
Thanks for the permission.
I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Okay, I'm just yanking your goat.
I didn't mean it like that.
I'm just yanking your goat.
he has a goat.
I know how to go.
Oh, boy.
Why didn't you tell me?
GG, dude. Ganking your goat.
Where are you gonna put that in our
Jeremy.
apartment?
Oh my god, I'll ride my goat to school. Just
Do
like
it, you won't.
oh, another anime I've been watching is what's it called? Nichiju, and that's really good.
Is that the one with the deer?
Yeah,
He's wrestling the deer.
I've only seen 2 episodes, but it's really good.
Is it as good as it looked like in those previews?
Yes, yes.
Yes.
There
It's
is
called Nichijou.
Nichijou. There is or Nichijou. Sorry, it's one of those. Also, it has no plot whatsoever, but it's very good.
That's awesome.
Okay, no plot, but you do learn more about the characters as it goes on, but there's just no like defined plot. But sorry, what I was gonna say is that Film Z, I cannot remember the last time I saw a movie / like anime, mainly anime, that like after it ended, like I just saw it and I was just like, like you can physically feel your body being drained to exhaustion because of how sad you are. Like that was amazing because I was not. It's a One Piece movie. You would go into it expecting like silly, funny, cool action, but like
Like even Luffy was super serious like the entire second half, and I was like, ooh.
never
Yeah,
did
he
I
got
expect
serious.
to go in. I think I'm mainly surprised because it was a One Piece movie and it made me feel so sad.
The
I just
other one's
wasn't
not-
expecting that.
Are the other ones more lighthearted throughout the whole thing?
Yeah.
I mean, One Piece in general, it has a plot and it's very like some of it is very heavy but it's mainly
an adventure show.
it's mainly an adventure show and a lot of it's about friendship and like these like kind-hearted pirates who help people. But it like just in general, it doesn't like each episode doesn't make me like feel that sympathetic and sad for like something. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So just I wasn't expecting that, and then when it happened, I was just like, oh, okay. I'm just
Yeah.
gonna lay down
for an hour.
yeah.
Yeah. No, we talked about that on a more. I think it was on it was on one of the more recent podcasts. We were talking about that because I definitely got that at which episode was it? It's episode 21 of Psychopaths.
Oh, God.
Don't
there's a-
even bring that up.
Don't
we won't
even.
we won't spoil anything, but there's a certain character that dies.
Wow, don't
and-
spoil it, but someone dies.
Well, yeah, I'm not gonna
My
say who,
heart.
but that
Ow.
when that happened, like he was my favorite character. So when he died, and I saw it coming, I'm like, no, don't do this to me. And after I got finished watching it, I just sort of had like these goosebumps on my arm. It's like, oh no,
Tears happened.
Oh, Edward Elric.
Like tears didn't happen because you showed it here right before the podcast.
Yeah, seriously, because I'd seen it. I'm like, I don't want to see you go through this. And I saw you go through it, and I was like, no, I don't want to see
And then
you through it.
but then afterwards, I went back and I was like, I kind of want to watch it again, and I bawled for like 20 minutes. I was like,
When I saw that, it was one of those horrible realization things. You saw it happen. I was just like in shock for 20 minutes. It was awful.
Like I was like screaming at the screen.
yeah.
Yeah.
So mad.
Clara, I'm sorry I interrupted you. What have you been
It's
watching?
okay. Well, I watched Filmsy with these nice gentlemen,
Yes.
and
Indeed.
Being someone who doesn't watch much One Piece, what did you think?
I very much enjoyed it. I used to watch One Piece a lot when it was on Toonami. Like I followed pretty much when they were in the desert, like that entire arc with Vivi, and when the bird exploded, I was kind of sad about that.
Wait, the bird
Oh
explodes?
God.
Oh yeah.
That hurt a little bit.
Except he doesn't die.
I think his name is Pell.
I know, but like I
Yeah,
didn't see the
hell,
episode after that, so I thought he died.
Yeah.
But I watched a lot of that when I was younger. But now I don't watch One Piece, so it was really nice. I forgot how much of a cutie pie Luffy was. Like,
yeah,
oh my god, he's adorable. I can't handle this. And it was just like all the different abilities that I don't know about with all the fruits and stuff. Like I thought like Luffy was special, but there are so many others.
Yeah.
So many others I don't know about, and I must acquaint myself with. Eventually, never.
Get through
Or sometime.
500
sometimes.
episodes of One
Sometime
Piece.
I will force you.
You will tie me to a chair. Is that what you're gonna do?
If that's what you want.
How long would
No.
it take to watch 500
Get
episodes?
away.
That would take like a
Other
week.
side of the table.
I am on the other side. Of the
Stay
table.
there.
You probably spent like a week straight. You couldn't finish it all.
I know.
No.
But I also watched with my friend Ethan Road to Ninja, the newest Naruto movie.
Oh, how's that?
It was really great. It pulled at my heart a lot and manly tears.
Yeah.
Like the whole story behind it is that
It's an alternate reality, right?
yeah, well, it's like Naruto and Sakura are kind of walking around, and they, like in the beginning, they're fighting the Akatsuki, which most of them, spoiler alert, are almost all dead. So then they're all back, and everyone's like, "Why are they here?" Turns out they're just Zetsus. But so they go back to the village, and all the parents are like, "We're gonna tell Lady Tsunade to make you Jonin. Here's a letter of recommendation because we're your parents." And Naruto's like, "I don't have any parents." So Sakura's parents we get to see for the first time ever, and they don't look anything like her. Like neither of them have pink hair. Her dad has like purplish brownish hair, and her mom's blonde.
Just enough.
And she's
Totally
just
makes sense.
she's the most annoying nag in the world. Her dad is like the most worthless ninja. He's still a genin. And he's like
Wow.
so bad. So she's like, "Oh, my parents are so embarrassing." Naruto's like, "Don't talk about your parents like that." And she's
Maybe
like,
that's-
"You don't even know, man." He's just like, "You're such a
I think we finally found the reason why Sakura sucks so much.
yeah."
There
But
you go.
like the whole time she's just complaining about her parents, and Naruto's sitting there just like, "Stop, stop, 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 stop," and she doesn't. And then
At least he finds out who his dad was.
yeah, Toby Madra, whatever you want, however far you are in the manga or whatever, shows up, and he's like, "Oh hey, limited Tsukiyomi Jutsu, you're now in a parallel world. Everyone's backwards. Akatsuki's still alive, but they're actually good, and they're actually not on my side. Oops." And then there's an evil guy, and Naruto's name is actually Menma, which is
What?
yeah. In the beginning of the in the beginning of the episode, no movie, Naruto goes to get ramen, and they don't have the little fish cakes, which is what Naruto is named after. And he's like, "Oh, we have Menma. It's bamboo shoots," and he's like, "This is crap," and then runs away. So then in the other world, he's named Menma, and he hates it. And his parents are alive, and other stuff like that. And they have to
So wait a
fight
minute.
this masked figure who's going around killing everyone, and just for no reason, who can summon the Grim Reaper and stuff.
If his parents are alive, then is he not the Nine-Tailed
Wait.
Fox in the other
No,
universe?
he is. But like, there's this huge plot twist that I do not want to spoil
Is there-
because it's pretty intense at
Wait,
the end.
is this the movie?
This is the movie.
Okay. Because I was like, wait.
I might have said episode accidentally, but I meant movie.
I was like, wait a second. The anime must have taken a
Oh
really
my God.
weird turn.
No, this
No.
is
Yeah,
the movie.
'cause that means-
But like I've been waiting for this for like months. The manga preview for it came out last year.
Oh yeah, it's
And I
been a
was
while.
like, "Oh man, this is the coolest. Everything's backwards. Hinata's such a babe." And then she's like, "Sakura, you know I like Menma, so you need to back off. I'm really aggressive and attractive." And Naruto's like, "Wait, what's going on?"
Oh my God, I need to see this now.
It's so
Just for
great.
that fact.
I don't
She's
know.
like, "You stay away from him or I'll kill you." And she's like,
Jeez. I don't think I could watch it if Naruto's name is actually Menma, because that's Menma from Anohana.
I know, that's what I kept thinking of the whole time, but it gets really intense. You're really confused the whole time. Kiba wanted to be a cat shaman, and Akamaru hates him.
No.
Shino hates bugs. Ino's shy. Shikamaru's an idiot. Choji's thin and only eats a bird-like amounts.
Oh my god.
1010 can't throw anything. Neji's a pervert, and Lee, I'm gonna leave for you to find out because I wasn't allowed to know, and I didn't know until the movie. And you need to watch it.
I can imagine what Lee might be like.
It's wonderful. And Kakashi and Guy swap personalities.
I was about to ask who's Kakashi. He's
No,
hilarious.
he is
That's
so
fantastic.
energized. He's like, let's do this, guys. And Guy's all like, I'm so old.
Wait. Oh my god. Wait, I mean, you don't have to tell us because obviously I'll find out. But like, is Lee like just depressed?
No,
Oh,
no.
okay, okay.
His personality is pretty much the same, but it's
Good.
like, I can't say his name.
Okay.
All
Okay.
right.
Hands
Well,
down, he's the
But
best
I've watched
character.
that lately. I've
Yeah.
watched one episode of Attack on Titan,
Nice.
which was awesome, and Alex showed me the opening the other night, which is awesome. And well, Toradora. That's about it.
Cool. Yeah, I'm gonna want to watch that Naruto movie now because that sounds awesome.
I
Yeah,
think they
I-
have
I
it on
agree.
like Crunchyroll or something, or like Naruto.com or something. Like
Yeah.
it's like
It's
Korean
online,
audio.
somewhere, I'm sure.
But yeah,
Korean
and
audio, but English subtitles, so it's weird.
That's
That
fantastic.
does sound weird. If you're ever interested, I'll be happy to show you more One Piece stuff though. Because
Mark would be more than willing.
okay, I've actually gotten a lot of friends into One Piece just because I talk about it so much, and they're like,
And on
okay,
Tumblr,
well-
it's like One Piece, One Piece, One Piece. I'm like,
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yes, I'm so happy that just through my Tumblr posts, people
you
are like,
are
pe-
a tyrant.
yes. I'm like, oh, wait a second, you don't know what One Piece is?
Let me show you.
All of the One Piece.
Yeah.
I only know what things are because you explained to me on Tumblr.
Well, that guy on Tumblr, F yeah One Piece. I
Yeah.
love his stuff.
Yep.
Because he posts like One Piece things every day. And there's also Madoka things every day. Some of them Cube related.
Yeah, and they're all yours.
no, there are other people that post Cube.
I know,
stuff.
but they're mostly yours.
They're all equally
Cube
awful.
per day.
Alex, have you been watching anything other than Toradora?
It's possible.
Well,
Yes.
what would that be?
I actually have. I after the Steins Gate podcast last week, I went on iTunes and found the second half of the show was there for like $24, like for 12 episodes. So a pretty good deal. So I bought that. Watched the English dub of Steins Gate because I'd watch in Japanese, and the English dub is like really good. But I just think that there's something inherent, like just because in the Japanese dub of it, the mad scientist main character speaks in English a lot, and in the English version they sort of translate it as he's speaking sort of like gangstery language, like street talk or whatever.
That's always the worst.
And it's I mean they're trying and it sort of works, but it's not as funny as the English. So I'm a little I can't help but be a little sad at that. But the voice actors do a great job. So
See, the thing is with like dubs and subs, a lot gets lost in translation, especially when it goes from Japanese to English, which is why I prefer the subtitles because I try and fit in exactly what it means at most times.
yeah, it
So
depends.
it's like
for me.
I prefer subs, but at the same time, I do enjoy seeing what the English interpretation.
right,
of it
like
is.
I enjoy it, and like specifically Clannad as an example, I very much enjoy the dub. I feel they picked very good characters for it, and because I relate everything to Clannad, I hear the voice actors everywhere else, and I'm like Akio, and like I don't know, like another like in High School of the Dead, like the guy who plays one of the girls' fathers is Akio, and I was like, what?
Yeah.
And it was really
I know.
funny.
For me, at least, it's always a thing where it depends on which one you see first. You usually have more of attachment to. Like I've seen some of the Japanese dub of Angel Beats and some of the English dub, and I like the Japanese one better.
Oh, definitely.
Because I saw that first, and I also think it's genuinely better quality wise.
That and TK is hysterical.
Yes, TK is awesome. Another English thing,
Get chance and luck.
But then there are certain occasions though where it's one is obviously better than the other. Like you got Bebop, which is like the epitome of English dubs, and then you've got lots of English dubs that are terrible, and the Japanese subs are far superior.
I mean, honestly, I can't even imagine seeing Dragon Ball Z in Japanese.
yeah, it's so weird.
That's one thing I can never, because I heard
They're
it in English,
super high.
I can't even think.
They're super high pitched, and it's like not nearly as manly as.
I heard Goku's voice, and I'm like, no.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
It's not
I
gonna happen.
can't.
Okay, I've just watched so much Abridged that I can't actually watch the real series. It's like there's this spoof of The Dark Knight called The Dark Knight, and it's hysterical by Oniji. And I can't watch the movie because I sit there and just quote it in my head the whole time.
Nice.
It's beautiful.
All right. So, and as Clara was saying, I've watched some of the the new 2013 shows are starting to come out online. One of them being Attack on Titan. It's a production IG show. Probably the best anime of 2013 so far. Like it's based on
Animation.
Yeah, it's based on a manga, like a shonen manga, basically about these people trapped in like this like medieval city with like these huge walls, and they've been like safe from these giant Titan creatures for like 100 years. Then one day, like this huge one just comes and bursts down the wall, and they all start invading, and people die, and
Get eaten. And
and the main characters are basically going to train to like fight them basically, and they use like these crazy machine harness things that like let them shoot and like move really fast across the street.
like Spider-Man.
Yeah, it looks pretty awesome. So 3 episodes of that out. Interested to see where that goes. It's a show called Gargantia on the Verdurous Planet is the English translation. It's a Generabuchi show. It's pretty good so far. Not as good as Attack on Titan. I also started watching this one called The Devil is a Part-Timer, which is more of a comedy romance sort of show, which it's pretty good so far. I'm interested to see where that goes. And I was rewatching a little bit of Anohana, sort of like Marc was, and obviously I watched Toradora. So I've been watching a lot these past 2 weeks. There you go. And before we get on to the main Toradora discussion, there are actually a couple of big Toonami-related news pieces that have come out since we last did a podcast that are worth discussing real quick. The biggest being that One Piece is going to be coming out in May on Toonami.
Yeah.
They've made that official, and they're starting at episode 207 instead of episode 1.
Okay, so what's 207? Do you know?
That is right before the Davy back fight, like where Funimation has
God.
just Funimation just like a year or two ago started re-releasing the DVDs and started redoing the dub, so it's going to start basically from where they've just restarted.
I'm perfectly fine with people starting off at Davy back fight because the Davy back fight is hilarious.
Is that before the time skip?
Oh yeah,
Oh,
that's
way before.
Okay.
Davy back fight is before Water 7, which is before Ennie's Lobby. Ennie's Lobby is my favorite arc of all time.
It's an interesting choice because obviously, like, someone who, like Clara, for example, just pops in there is going to be really confused. But at the same time, I feel like if they had started episode 1, like the block would have really struggled until it, caught up to the point that, all the hardcore One Piece fans haven't seen.
And Davy back fight isn't like heavy story. So people who aren't quite into One Piece yet,
They could probably figure out Sanji and Zoro are rivals. Luffy's a goofball. Nami's super attractive navigator. And Usopp's a goofball. And Chopper's the medic.
And then Robin
Oh, yeah, Robin.
And Robin's
is
mysterious.
the mysterious, creepy
Beautiful.
archaeologist.
Yeah.
Beautiful lady.
Yeah, and
I love Rob.
and the good thing about it is getting to that Water 7 Ennius Lobby stuff, which is a lot of people consider to be like the best arc of One Piece. That's some really good stuff they'll be getting to.
Yeah, and it'll be great because that's also where Robin gets a lot of great backstory.
Character
Robin.
development. Yep. So that's coming out in May. The apparently this is one of the only Toonami produced like original shows.
IGPX.
IGPX is coming out this
Can't wait for
weekend.
that to come back.
It's coming out on Toonami. Matt's been telling me that it's really good. I remember seeing commercials for it like
I watched
way,
it all the time back
way
in the
back
day.
in the day. Is it good?
That was fantastic.
Okay,
Because
well.
at the time I sold my giant mech craze. My friend like a racing mech show, hardcore, and we watched the crap out of it. It's really good.
All right. Well, I'll have to be watching that then. And then also this weekend, they're debuting the new Tom 5. Apparently, Toonami has been doing well enough that the makers of Toonami have enough money to like actually do new stuff. So now they're coming out with like a new model of Tom. There's going to be new animation, new bumpers, things like that.
Another new
have
Tom?
the same voice?
Yeah, no, the voice is the same, of course. I
This
think.
is like the 6th generation of Tom.
Well, it's Tom 5.
Shut up.
I just said that.
-1.
So that's all very cool. Good to see that Toonami's doing well. We want to keep supporting them. I'm going to try to watch that IGPX and One Piece over the summer because
Do it.
those both sound awesome.
Do it.
All right. So now that we've gotten that whole thing out of the way and we're 24 minutes into this podcast, we can get on to the main discussion, which is Toradora, as we said
They're
before.
talking about IGPX.
Well, I don't know anything about it. What would you like to say about it, Kenny?
It's robots and their race.
Oh, okay. It's pretty cool, man. Go watch Redline. Redline has races.
I was 20 minutes later to finishing it. I was close.
You didn't finish Redline?
No, dude.
Oh, but the ending.
Yeah.
Well,
Remember, Matt gave me his
Oh,
hard
yeah.
drive to finish it, but it didn't work with my computer.
that's right. That's right.
So-
Okay. Anyways, yeah, Toradora is actually, I learned this, it's based on a series of light novels. So that's the origination of it. It's not I've learned that there's very few anime that are like completely original. Like most things are based on a manga or a light novel or visual novels or
Yeah.
something else.
It's like books and movies.
Yeah.
That's how I thought it always was. I never really imagined like an anime just by itself. I only knew a few where the manga came after.
Like Gurren Lagann, Fooly Cooly,
Evangelion was
Evangelion,
anime
you know,
first.
Madoka Magica.
So a lot of Gynax stuff.
Yeah, well, Madoka Magica is Shaft, but you know, Code Geass I think is original. You know, there are some original shows, but a lot of it is based
I
on
remember when
other
they came out
things.
with the manga, I got so happy.
Actually, I think that Gargantia thing might be original because I know Attack on Titan and the Devils at Part Time are both based on other things, but that one might not be. So that might be original.
Ooh,
What about-
random thing. I read somewhere that any Rose and Maiden fans out there, Rose and Maiden, the new season's coming out in July, I think. And I don't know, like ever since like 8th grade, I've been a huge mega fan of Rose and Maiden, and I read the entire series, which the last volume is like 100 pages long. And it leaves you on the biggest cliffhanger in the world and doesn't finish it.
Oh, that's the worst.
And then it comes out the second season that doesn't even have a manga, and I'm just like, what's going on here? And it ends on a good note, but there's still a cliffhanger because there's a doll that doesn't even get introduced in the manga. But so now they're continuing from where that left off, and I'm so excited because I totally forgot about Rose and Maiden until recently.
Yeah.
Good reminder.
I've heard of Rose and Maiden, but I've
It's
never seen
really
it.
pretty.
Very pretty. I'll
Like
have
the
to give it a
animation is
check.
kind of but I mean the manga is gorgeous.
Oh yeah, there's some things that manga does really well. Like have any of you guys read any of the Soul Eater manga?
I have not.
I actually was reading that over spring break, and you know the fight between Black Star and Mifune, the samurai.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait,
It's-
which one? There's like 3.
Well, right. This is the last fight.
Okay.
In the manga, it's drawn like super bloody and like intense, and it's like really like detailed panels and stuff. It was awesome.
I'll have to look that up, but I have to admit the fights in the anime are really, really good though.
Yeah.
I
Honest-
love
Especially in sword art.
Sorry, yeah, I love his
his-
Mifune's fighting style.
I know,
Yeah.
the
Like,
100 swords.
Thousand
yeah.
swords.
No, hands down, he was my favorite side character. Mifune was BA.
Yeah, no, he was awesome. But we're not talking about Soul Eater. We may do that over the summer.
big daddy.
Yes, indeed. So I figured we'd start Toradora by talking about like the first few episodes. Because I'd heard about this anime for a while, and I actually way back last year at one of the J-Con showings, they had like a whole bunch of first episodes. I remember I watched the first episode of this, and I thought it was pretty funny, but I never pursued it after that. I really think the first episode of the show is like pretty darn good because they do a great job of like introducing you to the characters and the situations.
She breaks
and-
into his house and hits him with a
Exactly.
sword.
It's hilarious.
I was like,
love
is this
it.
where this anime is going? Because I like it.
And I was talking to Clara about this the other day because I've watched like the first 2 episodes of Clannad. And my problem with it right now is that it's moving like way too fast. Like we're being introduced to so many characters in like these first 2 episodes, and I have no time to like get to know them, and I don't really care.
time for that.
Whereas with Toradora, it spends the time to develop Ryuji and Taiga in like those first couple episodes.
So though in Defense of Clannad, you introduce these characters, but then later you find out so much about them.
Yeah.
And you just come to love every single one.
Yeah, but see, I prefer the way Toradora does it, where they introduce the 2 main characters first, focus on them, and then start introducing the side characters.
That's totally fine, as long as you keep watching.
Yes.
Cuss.
All right, so yeah, what do you guys think of the first episode?
Actually, I agree with you. It was a good way to introduce it because it wasn't slow. It was very high action and like fast paced from like, obviously her breaking in and trying to bash his head open. And it was confusing at first, but I liked it the way it was going. I'm like, this is like, I mean, I know it's a slice of life, but in my opinion, it was more, I guess I've never really seen a slice of life or too much of it before, but it was a lot faster paced than the other ones I'd seen or heard of. So I
Yeah.
liked its pacing.
Like Azumanga Daioh.
Yeah, I'd say this is it's more rom-com-y than slice of life. Like Azumanga Daioh is true slice of life because nothing really happens in that show. It's just them interacting. There's no romance plot lines or anything like that.
Yeah, and the romance, obviously that's a good tie, and I like that. And I just like the characters, I really like the characters, like a lot. The
Yeah.
way they opened it up with the, forgot, like the palm top tigers, how they call her.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I just like all the backstory you get right away was just awesome, and I was
Yeah.
like, this is
I
just
think,
so good.
I think my favorite part of like the beginning is, and I've said this many times just in conversation, Ryuji's face and how he looks, and they just his normal expression makes him look like a yakuza, and the fact that like he looks at someone and the guy's like, "Oh my god, I'm so sorry. Here, take my wallet," and he just runs.
Yeah.
And then Ryuji just goes to the police officer and he's like, "Yeah, sorry, I found another wallet." And the guy's like, "Wow, you find a lot of wallets." He's like,
Yeah.
You could say that.
Yeah.
It's like
Well,
I really like Ryuji though. Like
He's a great character.
I
Yeah.
don't know.
It inspires me to want to cook now. Like watching him do it, I'm like, I need to do this.
I know.
Like in the beginning, Taiga bothered me a lot because of how just stubborn she was and just completely and
Later
totally
on.
just
Tsundere.
Yeah.
like not even that much because she wasn't even like super gushy about anything but Kitamura. Like I don't know, like she was just so
Angry.
rough and angry and just unyielding to him.
I thought
And
she
I
would be
was
that the
like, you
entire
need
time."
to calm down a little bit and listen to him because she
Yeah.
wouldn't let him talk ever. It's like, here, I'm trying to explain. No, you shut up, dog. And he's just like,
Yeah. Well,
You need to calm
the
your
part that
horses.
got to me, like, I think, like I said, I think the first episode's really good, but I think where the show really shows like the direction it's going and where it sort of stands out from other rom-com shows is in the second episode where you get that scene where Taiga starts kicking the lamp pole and is like
Oh, yeah.
yelling at like everyone like for calling her the palm top tiger, whatever it is, you know. And then Ryuji joins in, you know, and they're both gushing out basically their anger. And then the whole bit that happens at the end of the second episode where Ryuji brings out the tiger and dragon line, you know.
Yeah.
foreshadowing.
It's just awesome how compatible they are because no matter what the situation, the other can always cheer the other one up or just join right in. And like the way they treat each other, like as harsh as they do it, they always know it's in good fun.
Yeah.
So no matter what, and just how supportive they are. I mean, the whole show is just fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah, something I thought of,
Cute.
Mark, when you were talking about the Ryuji's creepy face, in the same first
Yes.
episode, he's going and he's talking with the teacher, and she even freaks out when he starts like he gets a little bit upset, and she's like, "Oh God, don't hurt me! Here, take it."
He's like,
but what's clever about it is she's asking him about his career plan. You know, he needed to fill out the form and he didn't, and he says, "Oh well, I'll talk to my mom about it later." And then that becomes a plot point later on in the show. You know, so they're already foreshadowing at things, which I really like.
It doesn't last long though with everybody being afraid of him.
No, yeah, that's something we were discussing earlier because if you think about it, as far as Ryuji's flaws go, like the only things I can think of are he's got the face, which isn't honestly his fault. That's just biology. You know, he's not exactly the most driven character because obviously he doesn't know what he wants to do with his life. You know, he sort of puts off going to college and stuff.
Yeah.
And there's the one time where he gets super defensive about Taiga's dad, you know, which comes and backfires
and
when
he just is really blind.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, but those are really the only three faults I can think for him. You know, other than that, he's pretty much like perfect all the time.
People like
He
him a
can
lot.
cook. He loves cleaning, which I thought was weird.
He's in the bath. I was like, I'll take my shift. He's like, no, I'll defeat the mold. And he's like, all right, you have fun with
There-
that.
You need to calm down.
There are people like that where they're just so OCD about everything. They're like,
You should know.
they're like, yeah, I'll help you with this. No, I have to do it myself. Oh, okay.
But that's kind of like, all right, you have fun with that. Then you get to go out and do what you want.
Like
They're
this
just
past weekend,
Yeah.
Jeremy.
Oh,
Jeremy's
Jer
like that
Bear.
sometimes.
Yeah. That
He's
makes me think.
still apologizing for making us sleep on the floor.
In the first episode, remember when he comes to Taiga's apartment to like give her food or whatever?
Jeremy?
No, Ryuji.
Oh, okay.
Although Jeremy might have had a similar reaction when he sees the bathtub and it's just like
Sink.
what do you want to call
Oh,
it?
he's a
It's-
sink full of dishes?
No. Remember how the
And it's,
bathtub is
like,
like blurred
censored?
out?
Yeah.
Like, it's
Oh, yeah.
censored.
He was like, oh.
And he like screams at her and like runs into her bedroom. It's like freaking out at her.
I give him points. When he's driven to do something, he will like let nothing bar his path. He just barges into her bedroom, never being there before. Like, what the hell is this? And she's like, dude, come on.
Calm down, dude. Yeah, I know. I just love all the contrast he has. You know, because you would traditionally think of, like the person who's doing all like the cleaning and the cooking and everything would be like the girl in the relationship, but in this case, it's sort of reversed. Where Taiga
She can't
like
do anything for
exactly,
herself.
she's like completely has no practical skills other than that she can fight.
He's a
I thought-
housewife, as everybody points it out.
I thought you were about to say useless, and I was gonna laugh.
yeah.
she's not obviously, but yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and a bit I quite like as far as how they structure the show is at the very beginning of that first episode, they got that bit where, what's the quote? They're talking about there exists in this world something that no one has ever seen, and they're going on with this like monologue back and forth between Taiga and Ryuji, you know, And then that same quote is used again at the very end of the show, and you see those shots of like the two birds on the phone wire and things like that. They do some bookending there with the structure of the show, which I thought was very cool.
Hoy, hoy.
Which you would know about, Kenny, since you finished the end of the show, didn't you?
Yeah, I read all the synopsis, so I do know.
Yeah, Kenny watched up to about episode 17 or so, and then...
Bada boom! By now it's tradition. I never finish the shows we watch. I gotta be the guy so you can ask, what do you think without knowing the ending? And I'm like, well, it's just like that.
But you haven't actually seen the ending. Just reading a plot synopsis isn't enough to actually experiencing the emotions.
I experienced enough to know what it is.
Okay, fine. All right.
Spoilers, they die at the end.
No!
Sorry,
I certainly
guys.
hope not. Let's move on to some of the side characters. What do you guys think of
Wakaru.
Kitamura?
Kitamura.
Yeah. Well, I think don't they say Kitamura?
That's in English. Kitamura.
Kitamura.
I don't.
Okay.
Who's Kitamura?
I
He's the one
watched.
with the
glasses.
glasses.
Yeah.
Oh, Four Eyes, yeah.
I watched the animes a while. The animes. Wow.
The
animes.
The animu.
I watched that
Kitamura.
anime a while ago, so I don't remember everything, but I don't really remember liking him very much. Like
I don't know what's so special about him.
he was just very
All the girls love
bland
him.
and boring, and
Until later on, he didn't have anything else that was really going for him other than he's the perfect guy almost. Like,
Yeah.
everybody just loved him because he was so nice, and then he broke
Well,
down and loved the girl kind of thing.
I wouldn't say he was completely perfect because remember that whole bit on the when they go to Ami's vacation house and he's just standing there like completely naked in front of the girls and he doesn't even care.
Because he's not bashful. He's like, all of my glory.
and
they're
then
all just like,
Minarin is like, you Greek Adonis, and he's like,
Yeah, and Taiga is just freaking out. In
their
the
reactions to that
background.
were pretty funny.
I know. I love that moment. It's
That
one
in
of
the
the
cave
funniest
was
moments.
awesome.
Oh, the cave.
How they
cave
double
was
tricked them.
hilarious.
That was so good.
Yeah, I did like
I
that.
don't get what's so special about him though. I mean, I get why Taiga likes him because it's like the first guy who's ever like seen her for who she is and then confessed his love, and then she's like, oh my god, he's so wonderful.
Did you see his rockin' bod though when he was swimming? He had
I mean,
a rockin' bod.
I don't even know. I don't. Like, I don't know. He just looks like the stereotypical nerdy character, and then everyone is in love with him, and I'm like, this is weird.
Not really. Like Taiga is in love with him, and then the one
I know,
one
but
of
like
their classmates
everyone
is.
Yeah.
likes him though. Like,
all the
and
girls
he's
were like,
super
"Ooh."
popular, and everyone always talking about him. And
I would be okay with it if he like looked nerdy and like he was really nice and he had like all these really like cool traits about him that made him interesting, and then everyone liked him. But there's not like, okay, what are his talents? Just like list them off.
he's
smart.
smart.
He's good at talking to people.
Yeah, he's like physically fit, obviously.
Okay, so wait, so you're telling me he is socially, physically, and mentally like
Right.
talented.
Well, but
I'm sorry, that's no one.
Well-
no one is good at everything.
not
of
true.
those.
Neil
He's
Patrick Harris
romantically challenged.
yeah, that's the thing though. When we get into his whole arc, where he's freaking out about being the president and everything, that's where you get his insecurities,
Being a
and his
weirdo.
faults.
Yeah.
That was intense though. Like, it broke down. Like, I guess him and Minarin each had like an arc thing where they're like, oops.
Minarin.
Like I get that he does have his own personality, but it just seems very bland in comparison to the other characters.
Yeah,
Okay,
no.
until then he had nothing.
Yeah, he's the blandest of the group, the main cast. But I still liked him. He would have some funny lines. Like I remember one particular moment where like Ryuji and Tiger were hanging out on the roof like they usually do, and like having some conversation. Then Kitama just like says something. He's apparently just been standing there on the roof.
Yeah,
the
he
whole
always
time.
sneaks up on them. They're mentioning, like, yeah, we're going to scare Minarin. He's like, you're going to scare her? Like, or what? And they look over like, what is he doing here?
Right, or like that episode you were watching where he just like face plants completely on the ground.
He's like, bad would not be enough. I must lay in the ground to give her my honor. And I was like, yes.
yeah.
Just calm down, sir. Calm down.
You need to calm your shoes, sir.
Yeah. And there's the whole bit where, remember when Ami is introduced, Kitamura is like the one who is her friend, and then he's like talking with Ryuji in that restaurant and talking about how he wants Ami to like get to know other people and like not hide behind her shell of niceness, and things like that. So, he does do some actions that are.
But
all
it's
honesty-
like, I don't know. He didn't do anything about it though. He's like, oh yeah, you can make some friends without that mask of yours, and she's like,
Wow.
go away. And then he's
Good
like,
guy.
all right, and then leaves. And then Ryuji's the one who actually like makes her do it, like
Yeah.
indirectly.
Well,
He's like, yeah, stop.
Sorry, go ahead,
Oh,
Kenny.
you're good.
Okay, well, I think that's sort of a thing where it's sort of said that Kitamura and Ami were like childhood friends, like they've known each other for years. So I think at that point, she was like too comfortable with him as a friend, for him to actually like break that shell, had to be someone like Ryuji who she didn't know.
Well, that's one of the things I'd say to the side characters. She's the one I saw change the most.
Ami?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, she definitely.
Because she, in the end, she helps Ryuji too. I mean, she becomes kind of a teacher herself later on, and he's the one who also helps her. I mean, out of everybody else of the other ones, I see her change the most. Maybe that's just me, because she changed a lot from the beginning. I was thinking about today while watching, like she is a completely different character than the beginning.
She changes a bit because at the beginning, she's the the girl who seems perfect and nice on the outside, but then underneath is a total asshole. And then slowly over the course of the show, you see her sometimes she drops the facade, if you will,
And then she's like, just kidding. And everyone's like, you're so cute. And she's like, I know.
She plays up the popularity thing. But even later on, she does some pretty, I don't want to say the word, some pretty jerky things,
to Minorin.
Yeah, when she said to Minorin, stop playing house or whatever, and that made Minorin go into her little, depression coma for 3 episodes.
And then when they were in the lodge.
Yeah. She kept on pressuring Ryuji to break up with Taiga and Minorin, basically, to stop pursuing them because she liked him, and he never caught on, of course, because Ryuji never catches on when people like him. That's the theme throughout. Every anime rom-com. The guy never realizes that.
Wait a minute, 5 women like me. Oh my gosh.
That's kind of how Tomoya is a little bit in Clannad. But, not to the same extreme. He isn't that oblivious.
Maybe he's just ignoring them on purpose, and he does know.
The thing is, though, I really, from the beginning, Minorin just, I don't know, she kind of annoyed me. Just how kind of obnoxious she was.
Over the top she can be?
Yes, and then Ryuji's just, really calm, just little cooking guy.
They were literally opposites.
And then he's like, oh, I like you, but there's no reason for it. It's oh, she's just really outgoing and sunny and stuff, and I like that about her. But there's never
Isn't that enough reason? The fact that she is so energetic?
Taiga had a backstory about why she liked Kitamura, and it was just Ryuji's oh, I like her, and that's it. There's no chemistry between them at all. And in the end, she's like, I've loved him since the beginning. And I'm like, he could have fooled me.
Yeah, I was gonna, because the thing is, at the beginning,
I didn't believe that at all.
I mean, I liked him. I'm cool. He could be together with her in the beginning. I get it. But later on, as of watching it recently, I've been getting more he should probably end up with somebody else other than her, because I didn't really see them together. And the way I predicted the ending, I didn't see them together anyways. But still,
I really like the episode once again when they're at the beach house where that's where Minorin and Ryuji get the most time together, because that's where Taiga's trying to force them together.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, now
very much.
And I don't know, her whole conversation with Ryuji after the whole thing in the caves and
seeing ghosts.
Yeah, the thing talking about seeing ghosts, and UFOs and everything, which as you sort of watch it, especially when I was watching the second time around, you realize basically everything she's saying about ghosts, replace ghosts with the word love, and that's basically what she's really talking about.
Oh yeah, the whole time she was talking, I was just thinking love, 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 love.
I mean, that's
love.
What she's inferring too. That's what they're even Ryuji points it out. So you're talking about finding someone kind of thing. So yeah,
exactly. I don't know. I liked Minorin a lot just because she was the single funniest character in the show. And
I don't know. I think Haku's is the funniest one.
Haruta,
sorry. He was hands down my favorite side character. Haruta was awesome.
He was funny, but he's not in the show enough.
I still think for what he was in, he was funnier than everybody else, because everything he was in was hilarious.
And it's oh, I didn't know you had a social. No, she's my girlfriend. And he's what?
He would just come out of nowhere. The thing where they're talking about.
She's super cute.
How, when after Taiga touched you, got good luck.
Right.
And he goes on his story about all these women, all this money for grandfathers. He's a pimp outfit,
and then
laughing.
And then his dream he had.
I just saw that and I laughed so hard. I was everybody was, it made no sense thinking, that was my dream. And they're like, what the hell's wrong with you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that bit you're talking about. That's near the end where Haruta randomly shows up oh, I have a girlfriend. Yeah, of course. And I think his brown-haired friend is following him. And he's there is no justice in this world. Or something like that.
Just the duo. Those two were awesome. I like them throughout the series.
Nota and Haruta.
Yeah. One thing I admit that did kind of bother me, you're talking about how everyone liked Kitamura. There was, I want to say, it wasn't the purple-haired girl, this purple-haired side girl character who was in their class who liked Kitamura? Because she said she liked him and stuff, but she was always calling him Four Eyes and being kind
of.
Well,
orange-haired girl too.
Yeah, the orange-haired one's the one that the website
she
I just watched.
Specifically was
Okay, it was the orange-haired one.
Because she went up to Ryuji in the Christmas one, and first of all said that you should be with you like Tiger, right, and stuff like that. And
You
said
told
you
me
should
with
go for
Tyga. Go with
Minori.
Tyga.
And she's like, you shouldn't have Tiger out with him. It's too soon, right? You agree with me, right? I like him a lot, right? We should make out. And I was like, oh, whoa, calm down.
Yeah,
But
I don't know. She kind of annoyed me a bit just
Oh,
because
yeah.
she seemed kind of.
She reminded me of a little bit of Asuna.
Oh, from Sword Art.
Yeah, but she also looked like Shirley from Code Geass. Like
Yeah,
there are so many
she's very
characters who have the
Shirley.
same hair, face.
surely you don't mean that.
Kenny.
Kenny.
Do it.
I
Pun
know.
any time under any circumstance. I can't not make it. Mark knows. Gotta
Oh.
make the pun, Joe, bro.
Joe, bro.
Joe, bro.
You made it. You made 2 puns after my favorite character in Danganronpa died, and I was so pissed.
The pun has to be made. I'm sorry, Mark. You can slap me in the wrist. I'm sorry. I never said I'm a good person. I said I had to make the pun.
So even if it makes everyone hate you, you must.
Oh, there's a
make it.
special place in hell for me. Trust me. I've got a room number and everything. I already know there is.
I don't know.
What have I done?
That's all right. Little
I don't know.
glitch.
He we won't explain it, but
Please don't.
he did make it's their final joke.
Oh, Kenny, why would you do that?
I'm going to hell. I've accepted it.
I see. One of my favorite moments in the show, going back to Minori in it for a second, was I forget which episode it is. It's
Mark,
what is it? Where that's the one where
awake.
remember the class is passing around that note that's like saying like, aren't you and like Taiga together, you
Ew.
know, with Ryuji or whatever, and he like passes the note to Minori.
What do you think of Airheads?
Right, and then she comes up and does like.
That face. I didn't expect that. I'm like, what's she about to? Oh, when I saw it, I like screamed. Like, I couldn't handle it. That was arguably the scariest face I've ever seen in an anime.
I think I found the GIF and reblogged it on
No,
Tumblr.
I saw it on Tumblr. I had to watch it for a minute. Just like, how did I not pass out when I saw this?
I need to find that again. 'cause I
That
remember.
wrecked me. Like, I think if I had to go to the bathroom, I would have. That was awful.
I wasn't expecting it at all.
That's one thing I loved about her, though. Like, she would just do the most random things like that.
Like just
And
stand
just,
up and
Yeah, and just like,
Yeah. And I also love, I think it might be in that same episode, like episode 3, I know it is, where Ryuji and Taiga start working at that like store, that convenience store.
and get locked in the thing.
And they get locked in the store, and like Minorin and Ryuji are having like, they're playing the whole baseball thing, and
The
then
window.
right, and then he climbs up the window. Is like they're trying to escape, and he's having like this whole monologue about how awesome Minorin is, you know, because she said she was like scared, but that she was being nice and happy to try to disguise it or whatever. And cross-cutting between all this, we see Taiga struggling to ride a bike because apparently she can't do that, and just like getting super pissed off. And then she like sees the window of the storehouse and like gets this look on her face. And then Ryuji finally climbs up the ladder and looks outside, and then she's just like, "I found you," and like
Jump kicks him in the face and lands on him.
I know, it was amazing.
She's good at jump kicking. I'll give her that.
she's
Yes.
really good at kicking.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean she kicks butt. I don't exactly know how, because there are other points in the show where like I think it was even in that episode she's like having to carry a bunch of like boxes and things, so she really struggles with it. But you'd think given how strong she's shown to be like in fighting and stuff, she'd be cool with it.
Tiger strength.
I think it's because like she's really small, so like if you have to carry a lot of stuff, it's like still hard to like balance things. I
But
don't
burst strength is something else.
There you go.
Like that epic fight she had with the president.
Yes,
That
that
was
is one of my
ballin'.
favorite moments. Like that, the whole Kitamura arc, you know, is basically building to that moment.
Yeah.
You
I'm
know,
glad something happened because she just left without any repercussions.
Oh no, it had to.
I would have been so mad.
I thought it was funny. Like, she's like, going to America. I'm like, that's where I am.
oh
I know that place.
Yeah, I admit it was like, you know, you don't really know much about the president, but you really kind of hated her when Kitamura's up there like giving his president's speech, and he basically like confesses to her. She
Which
says
was a
"That
really idiot move.
Yeah, when he did that, I was like, whoa.
and I'm pretty
Ballsy.
sure like everyone in the audience was like all of a sudden really awkward.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
especially for Taiga. She was like,
Oh my god, I expected her to jump on stage
thought
and
she was
start.
gonna do
Oh
something.
my god.
yeah,
It was
But she had the sword with her.
yeah,
That's true.
'Cause
She had it
of
just like in like her.
her dress.
Yeah, I was like, all right, you're ready.
Yeah, and there are moments in the show where like usually, I mean, it's looks nice throughout, you know, but it's the animation's never like amazing, you know. But when they do like the fight scenes, because they happen only occasionally, but when they do, you know, like that bit where she's fighting Sumeri, or I'm also
The
thinking
wrestling scene.
which wrestling thing was that?
You know when they had the play going on?
Beep, 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 beep.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
they actually had like an intense mini fight thing.
that was funny. But what is it? When they're chasing Minori and Ryuji are chasing Taiga down the hallway in like episode 24.
And she totally face plants, and I laughed a little bit.
Man, you really hated Minori.
I
I'm
didn't hate her.
surprised.
She's just really fake and annoying.
She does admit that she is fake at one point.
Yeah, but like she admits that she's like, I'm a phony, and then that's it. And I'm like, well, do something about
I'm a
it.
big fat phony.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna pretend I didn't say that. Tee.
But all the characters in the show are like that. They all have like emotional relationship
Sassy
problems.
ribbon.
Yeah, but the animation there, while they were like running, like you can tell, like the animation budget goes up because it's like, oh, fluidity. It's
Mm-hmm.
beautiful.
Going from $50 to $60 per frame.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
I love when shows do that. Like, there's a specific scene in there's this anime I watched a while back called Mahoromatic, and there's this fight scene where it gets really, really fluid like that, and it's one of my favorite scenes in the entire anime.
Nice.
And I just love when they do that. I get so excited. I'm like, oh boy, yay.
Yeah.
I agree. Gurren Lagann has some
Like in the whole,
moments like that, too.
Yes.
Or-
like the entire Naruto Sasuke fight in Naruto. That's all just like that. It's beautiful.
Super CG
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, well, what I was thinking of is in One Piece where Luffy punches the Terratinibu, you know, and the animation
and
goes
the style
really...
goes really different.
Yeah, it's awesome. They do that in Steins Gate too. There's a bit where it goes like all black and white, like pencil-y drawn, and it looks really awesome.
Yeah, I know in Naruto, I was watching, it was during the pain fight. I was watching over Krista's shoulder, and literally it changed like 180 degrees how
Oh my
different
god,
the
like when
animation was.
Hinata's there?
The
Oh my
they were in
God.
like a water realm. Like they're fighting, the water's everywhere, and it looks so different. We're like, this looks like an American cartoon, not anime. We're like reeling over. It was really well done, but it looks so different. We're trying to rationalize if the show changed forever, and then it went back, and we are like, whoa.
Yeah, like
where were we?
Like I remember watching like the tuning exams, just like the quality is
Exams,
disgusting.
so
Like I'm looking at this like, oh, it's so gross. Oh my god, like their faces and the animation is so.
Puke in your mouth a little
I'm
bit.
not going to talk about this right now.
The fight between Gar and Lee was really
That
good.
is beautiful. Like the fights are great.
Lee is hands down the best character in
Yeah.
the show.
Oh my
There's also
God,
that
he's
bit
I'll defend that
wonderful.
fact.
where Lee fights the Orochimaru's one henchman
Kimaru.
guy. Yeah, that's a really cool fight.
Yeah. But like there are certain times when the animation gets really good, and Shippuden is getting to the point where everything looks like that at all times.
Nice.
Like
They
not
have so
like,
much money they
not like
can.
super great, but I mean it looks really nice.
It's a
Yeah.
vast improvement, obviously. I mean, it's years later, so of course, but still, you can tell.
This is really random, but that part where they do the one of my only parts where I actually like Sakura. Sakura fights the
the puppet guy.
Sasori.
guy.
Oh,
And,
yeah.
Oh my god.
He's so beautiful.
The fight where the puppets are fighting and like the buzzsaws are going together and they keep clashing and stuff, and I'm like, oh my god, the animation is so good.
That puppet
Yeah.
guy was awesome, too.
So
like-
Sori is so beautiful.
Yeah, that's the problem. That was like Sakura's peak, and that's like at the very beginning of
And that's it.
Shippuden.
I mean,
That's
like
the
even in the
problem.
movie, you're sitting there like, I hate you, 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 I hate you. She is
Yeah.
absolutely the worst.
Yeah, but one thing, Mark, is that you will, because as we've said, Sword Art Online, lots of story problems, but when it gets like the boss fights and like the cool fight sequences, it's got some of those gorgeous animation you've ever seen. Like it's really, really good.
There's a character who looks just like Zoe, and oh my god. Wait, how far are you exactly into the story?
He said like 8 episodes.
Yeah, but what part is that in the story?
No, I'm only like I think I'm only like 6 episodes in. Oh,
Have you gotten to the part where, like-
it's the part where it's basically a murder mystery now, because
Oh, okay. So you got past the part where they went like he was with a random team guild, and they went into the
Yeah,
room.
yeah.
The girl that died and he promised is Zoe.
okay, that made me mad.
Yes.
I know this isn't the Sword Art Online podcast, but just the one thing I have to say is, if you've ever played any MMO, if you went into an MMO and you saw a secret hidden door with a tiny room that only had a treasure chest in it, I'm sorry, you
Don't
would not
touch
you
the
would
treasure
not
chest.
run to the treasure chest and open it and be like, there must be treasure in here. I'm like, guys, I've played enough video games to know that's probably a
It's just
trap.
like Dark Souls, the one that eats you alive and kills you. The treasure chest is like, by the way, and you're like,
It's got the whole like oblivious universe thing
Yeah,
where it's
syndrome.
like, we're in
Wait.
a zombie movie. What's a zombie? Oh, we don't have movies.
if you die in this game, is it just you can respawn?
You die in
No.
real
You die in
life.
Okay, that's what I thought. So there's consequences.
Yeah,
and
so
and
she
just
dies.
Like, they're
Why
like,
would you play it
They're
then?
like, yes.
You didn't know from the beginning. Like
Yeah,
you
they-
go in
you
there
get
and he's
tricked.
like, you can't leave, and they're all like, what? And then people kill themselves, and I'm like, good job.
Yeah, well, no, and I was like, okay, like, Yeah, treasure chest. Like if your life was on the line, I wouldn't just be like, "Yay, treasure chest!"
If you had like 3 lives, it'd be like, let's do it. But if you have one, you're like, guys, get a pull
Like an episode of Fairly Odd Parents
Yeah, I am curious, Mark, because if you
when they
remember,
go in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
if you remember, a long time ago, Matt was talking about Sword Art Online, and that's the Christmas episode, that he was talking about. I'm just curious what you thought of that, because that was one that definitely bothered me, just because like they try to make you sad that all these characters die, but at the same time,
Okay, personally, it did make me sad. So for me, at
I
least,
liked
they
her a
they,
lot.
they did they
but she had no personality.
No, she was cute.
okay, well,
Kawaii?
no, her personality that I saw was that she was just someone who wanted to help her friends, but she was just so afraid of dying that she just wanted to sit there and do nothing. So I mean,
Which is
I
excusable.
Yeah, and I understood her.
Literally,
so
that's how I would be in the video game.
so
I'd be like,
it's-
guys, I'm gonna stay back here.
I would be one of the people who would want to fight, but at the same time, I'd be really cautious.
Be
I
careful
did that
about
in
it.
League anyways.
Yeah. So, anyways, I mean, it was good, but I'm kind of enjoying it. But I don't know.
It's so nice.
I have to go though, so
Okay.
I will see you guys later.
I'll forever
Sorry,
love you,
Mark.
Mark, in my heart.
But yeah,
Goodbye, Mark.
so Toradora, good, yay.
Yeah, you're the one who was originally talking about it. Remember on the TV shows podcast where you're like, I love Orange High School Host Hub. Oh, wait, there's Toradora. I forgot about that.
Yeah, it's. Hey, I'm glad that we finally watched it and that you guys enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I like
Yeah,
it
man.
a lot.
It's pretty good. All right.
Bye,
So
guys.
long, Mark.
Bros
Bye,
forever.
Mark. Bye.
Goodbye.
Adios.
Hope you find your dad.
I was waiting for you to say that.
Mark, expect me later.
Oh, my.
Bro.
It's not
Whatever
creepy
sex
at all.
time later is gonna be great.
Okay.
Don't tell Mark, it's a secret.
Is this still part of getting the AVW Bromance Award for next year?
Oh, we already have it in the bag, dude. See, look at that.
This is great for an
Anyways.
audio podcast. All right. Moving on to a different character we haven't talked about yet. I thought we might as well mention Ryuji's mom, because she's.
Can we
don't
mention
know.
the parrot real quick?
Oh my god.
It
Inko-chan.
looked like it was constantly choking on its tongue. I thought it was
Yeah.
actually choking and dying. And
Yeah.
every time it got rebellious. I just saw the episode where it was getting rebellious because he had the cooked chicken book next to it, and he's like, "Why are you? I'm so sorry." He bows to it,
And then she's like, really? And he's like, yes, I promise. She's like,
and then Tiger walks in like,
guys.
What's going on?
Guys.
I don't know. Inko-chan never. I never thought it was funny. Like I never laughed at any of the Inko-chan.
it disturbed me at
jokes.
first because it was molting. It looked like it was choking and it looked bloated, and I was like,
It's so ugly.
it's
Although I did know from episode 1, once they mentioned like, oh, it never says its name. Like episode 25, it's gonna say Inko-chan at last. And that's what happened, of course. But you wouldn't know that, would you, Ken?
spoilers. It almost
Yeah.
said his name once.
So yeah, I don't know. I know you kind of liked Inko-chan, but
It was a little cute, but at the same time, like, I don't know. My friend Lizzie has a bird, and it reminded me of her bird, which we call Chicken because it's so derpy.
nice.
Like, her name's Rosie, but we call her Chicken. And she just squawks at all times, and it just reminded me of her.
I see.
And I was
But
like, oh, Chicken.
with Ryuji's mom, though, I really.
Her character.
I don't know. She was at first she was just there sort of as a comic relief sort of character, but then later on when they get into the whole bits about
She's
how
got a
she's
lot to
working,
deal with.
yeah, she's working extra jobs, to try to help him pay for college, and just learning how much she cares about him, and like those little flashbacks of her hugging kid Ryuji after his dad like died or whatever, and she's
Left.
Well, I mean, after you find out later, like his dad left while she was still pregnant.
like, oh yeah, so it's
Yeah.
like, oh, you're even more of an asshole.
Yeah,
Awesome.
so your dad was he part of the Yakuza? Like, is that what he was?
Yeah.
'Cause I knew he was a gangster, but I forgot Yakuza was a thing. I'm like, he's just a gangster.
I love in the first episode where the mom is bragging about like, oh, he kept
He had a
magazines
magazine.
under his
At one point,
shirt.
she mentioned like for the 5th time in another episode, he's like, "This story again," like in the background.
I know.
But, like, for the job she has, she's surprisingly upbeat about it at
I know
all
it's a thing.
times.
Like at a job that you normally wouldn't be too happy about, and you have to sleep
yeah,
all
I'm gonna
day.
wear skimpy clothes and drink beer in front of really gross men.
And
Yay!
the only time you ever see her kind of, at least from what I saw, angry was when they woke her up that one day.
Oh, that was
When the Katana there,
hilarious.
She's like, "Get her!" Oh, she's like had money. They're just outside.
I loved it because she didn't even say anything. She just opens the door like money out.
That's why I'm so surprised with her. She's always really happy, and she was a funny character. I liked her.
Yeah.
And in the end, it's like, oh man, she really cares like a lot. It's not like
Yeah.
she's just big ditz.
Well, she is kind of childish though, because in the end she
Very.
runs away from
Very.
him.
I mean,
All
one,
she is childish.
Yeah.
one thing though, I don't know how old she is really. I'm sure she's not that old, but that's the whole thing. In anime, we've talked about how the people who are older don't look much older. Like their teacher and her just looked about their age, anyways.
Yeah, I'm guessing she's probably
30.
Yeah,
maybe
early
Because aren't they
30s.
supposed to be like 14 in the show or something?
No, they're in high school, so they're like
18. So she's got to be in like her mid.
they're
But
probably
I mean,
like
they're only sophomores. Sophomores are like 15, 16.
well,
I mean,
this
we
is in
just-
Japan where it's only 3 years instead of 4, so that's a little
And
different.
they
Like-
said that Ryuji's going to be turning 18 soon.
Okay, so they're actually old.
yeah, so
like,
they're
okay,
like
because I
17.
heard somewhere they're 14.
Yeah,
And I was like, what?
So Ryuji was 17.
Okay, so they're all older.
Yeah.
Okay, good. I can accept
So
that.
she'll probably had him fairly young too.
Yeah. So I'm just
Yeah.
saying. Yeah, I was making sure
Because he makes a point about how she's young, she could, get a job, go to college,
Because I've
things
never
like
seen a
that.
show where ages made sense in anime, so this may be the first time.
Well, I mean,
first time.
Miyazaki does that pretty well though.
Okay, now his is done very well.
Yeah.
You can tell ages
And
in that.
I'd say like Kids on the Slope, they look their age.
yeah.
Yeah, but there's some where it's just so
Yoko.
far off. Yeah, you're just like, no, that's not how. Like I saw one, they all look at least 30. It's like they're 15. I'm like, no, they're not.
No, they're
Not in my book.
I won't accept that.
That's the youngest of like 40.
I know. Are
Or
there?
it's like when characters are like 14 and have like size D boobs, and I'm
Yeah,
like,
like
no,
so. It's things
Yep.
different over
no.
That's Yoko to a T. She's supposed to be 14.
there. No,
She
yeah,
is not
sorry.
14.
I just realized what you're talking about. Yeah, that's what I was thinking about when you're talking about Girl Gone. Sorry, I was like, yeah, I broke for a second. But yeah, she cannot be 14. In my head, she's at least 18. Because come
Yeah.
on.
Well,
How old? What's his name then?
What?
Kamina?
Simone?
No, not Simone. Simone's like 9, isn't he?
Yeah, he was like
Before the
10,
time skip.
10 before
But
the
then
time
how old
skip.
is
Kamina?
Kamina
Yeah,
is like
Kamina.
a little bit older. Like I think he's 16.
Okay, because I'm like, they kissed, dude. If he's too old, that's weird. She's 14.
No, he's not older
How is
than
he
18.
16? He's like a 20-year-old man.
No,
you
he's
see
not.
him? Look how big he is. He looks like a. He's no.
Yeah, but you notice he doesn't have like any chest hair or anything like that.
Real men have steel. We don't have
No,
chest
but
hair.
Lord Genome has chest hair, and that makes him the manliest character in that show.
Okay, I'm here to quote my dad's friend. Dad, if you ever hear this podcast, you're welcome. But my dad had like back in college had a really hairy chest. His friend didn't. And he's like, "Hey Rob, why don't you have a hairy chest?" He's like, "Chest doesn't grow on steel." So
Wait, wouldn't it be hair doesn't grow on steel, not
when I
chest?
say, damn it, shut up, Dad, don't listen to the podcast. I ruined it.
You're just expecting a skin chest to grow over the steel.
How do you think it's? Well, he's a robot. All right, moving along. Okay, now I've accepted that. So yeah, they're old. His mom's cool.
Kenny, you're my favorite everything.
My everything.
It's cool.
They'll go in the best of Shredded Cels year 2. Don't worry. I was gonna ask. Were there any more like really really funny or important moments that stuck out to you guys? My
When Ryuji carried Taiga up the hill and she thought it was Kitamura.
yeah. Well, we're gonna get there soon because there are like a lot of emotional moments in the last few episodes I want to talk about.
yes.
But in the earlier stuff, probably the single funniest moment for me in the entire show is when they're at Ami's summer house. And Ryuji goes up to the bathroom and like
He's pretending to
take a shower.
Hey, you want to do it?
I was like, why didn't he leave? Like, even if she was faking, I'm like, I would have ran if somebody's taking a shower, but he stayed there for quite a long
Well, I
time.
mean,
she
he
grabbed
probably,
she grabbed
No,
him.
before she
remember?
grabbed him, you could have just left.
Oh,
well,
yeah.
like he didn't know because he was like, and then he starts to leave, and she's like, nope.
Then when she grabbed him, I was like, oh. I
Yeah.
thought Tiger was gonna walk in. I was like, no. But, okay, you're getting to it.
Yeah. And they do all the trickery too, because when they cut to her, like she's got the water in her hair or
Yeah.
whatever, and you're like, oh no, and then she pulls it away, and they just stare at each other for a moment, and then you hear like Ryuji.
Taiga!
Yeah, it's like the one time we see Ryuji be like really funny and like whiny, and he's like
just the animation. He's like,
It's like Bakachi.
yeah,
and he's
then-
like not even making words. She's just describing what he's doing.
yeah, he's just like making these motions with his arms.
It's like that moment in
She's
Scott
like-
Pilgrim where it's like, Envy called.
Yeah, I love that.
I think he says something about like Ami-chan was toying with a pure man's heart, or
Yeah.
something like that, and
And then-
she goes up to
That was the best.
she goes up to deal with the situation. You hear her scream, and she comes down with like a big red mark
It's
on
like
her
she
face.
was actually taking a shower.
And she would look like boom, boom, and,
And
then
then
she
she
comes
don't
out like,
tell him that. I still think my favorite part, or one of my, that was probably the best, but like almost tied to that was when, when she's gonna go swimming and she was
Oh, yeah.
concerned about like when he yells at her, it's like, you're flat chested. It was like this really dramatic moment where he's like poking his mom's like breast. Like, he's like, quit molesting my mother. And I like, laughed really hard.
That's right, because she mentioned something about Ryuji making like this special like
Soybean.
soybeans, and like I think Tiger like even picks one up and is like looking at it,
Eats
in
and
this
she's
really
like,
big
I need more
eyes.
soybeans. I just laughed really hard because she's just like, her mom just doesn't even care. And he's like,
Yeah, that's the thing. I think the show does a really good job of balancing the comedy with the romance subplots, at least early on.
Keeping
Later,
everything lighthearted.
yeah, later on it gets a bit more serious
Every show
and
gets serious.
romantically related, but especially those early stuff. Were you going to say something earlier, Clara? I interrupted you.
Oh, the funny part when they were gonna race in the pool, and then she
Oh,
just
yes.
throws everything at Ami.
And then she like takes off her top. I was like, what?
What? Yeah, and that led to a really heartwarming moment too, where Ryuji gets like knocked out, and she
And I
actually
was
swims
like-
in to save him.
And I was like, oh no, don't drown.
I know.
She saved him.
There
And
is
she's like, Ryuji is mine.
That was
and everyone is
intense.
like, oh.
Yeah, that's the thing. There's that moment, where it seems like she's saying Ryuji is mine. Like that seems like confession
Now
of feelings.
And
And then you've
that
got
didn't happen either.
right, and then you got way back even in episode 2 where Ryuji's saying if you're a tiger then I'm a dragon. Tigers and dragons are said to be together since ancient times.
Now kiss.
So I'll always be with you. And you think, oh well, that's a moment where it's like, okay, obviously they're getting together. But every time one of those moments happens, there's something where it's like, nope, we're gonna deny our feelings for
Is
each
that
other.
the line that inspired the movie Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon?
I'm sure it is.
Okay, cool.
Even though that movie came out way before this
shh,
one.
No more dreams, only pain. Wait. Sorry, that's not what I meant to say. So, anyways, but yeah.
Gosh, there was another funny moment I was gonna bring up, and I've forgotten what it was. I don't know. I'll think of it
Well,
later.
there's Kitamura at the Christmas party wearing just suspenders.
The Santa stuff.
Wait,
beard.
he's wearing more than just suspenders, right?
Well, he was wearing
On his
suspenders
shirt.
and
He's just
pants.
naked with suspenders. I was like,
Oh
What
God.
would they be holding up, Kenny?
Oh God.
Oh God!
my.
Oh,
What have you
no.
done, Clara?
I don't know what I've done.
No more tears, only dreams. So, actually, his dream's probably my favorite parts,
Oh
too.
my God,
We're
yeah.
just all the weird stuff happening. It's like, that's what my dream was.
Oh yeah. I love the bit where Ryuji and Taiga have the same dream, and like he's in a doghouse
Yeah.
or whatever, and they're like, we must prevent this dream from happening.
And then it's like, Taiga's had puppies, and she's just like, they're yours.
I was like, what? We should get the same dream. I was like, okay.
Okay. I figured we could talk about one of the more important arcs in the show being the whole, like I brought up earlier, Taiga's dad, his whole sort of arc, because
He was a butt nugget.
right. But at first though, before you learn like his true colors, Taiga's like just calling what she just calls him like an asshole and runs away.
Yeah.
And then Ryuji like confronts Taiga and is like, it basically spills out like he sort of feels like she needs to be with his dad because like
He can't
at
be
least
with
you
his
have
dad.
a dad,
Yeah.
that sort of thing. And
He's really blind.
well, but at least for
even
me,
then-
I didn't. I mean, when they show him like talking with his
Right.
dad and stuff, the dad seems really nice.
Yeah, I sympathized a bit. I'm like, I know he's a bad guy, did bad things, but maybe. I mean, I figured in the end he'd probably still be bad, but I'm like, maybe. they
Like
might
as soon as
be
it's like,
sympathetic.
oh, have you gotten a text from your dad yet? Oh yeah, he's supposed to come, and I haven't gotten
Oh,
anything.
yeah.
And I'm like, he's not
Well,
coming.
even before that, when he moved her out, and like what his mom pointed out, I was like, that's selfish to have her just move in with you. And then when Minorin mentioned something, immediately she freaked out. I'm like, okay, this is gonna be bad if she's had this.
yeah,
happen
that was the
before.
first time Minorin like got mad at Ryuji for
Right.
anything, which
You only
was
have for like 3 episodes.
yeah. They're like, we're not gonna talk to each other. It's like Ron and Hermione in the Harry Potter books.
oh my god, it's exactly what it's like.
Every book
stop.
they have a fight and they'll be for like 10 chapters they won't talk to each other and then they reunite and then it happens again every time.
And then they make the hell out and have babies.
They do have babies.
So whoever you fight with the most, you're gonna have babies with.
okay, that's how
That's
it
the
works.
rules.
So that's good for Noto because he's got a crush on orange-haired girl
Wait, who?
Oh
the
yeah,
kid with the
the
glasses.
brown-haired guy.
with the glasses.
Oh, sorry. I thought we were talking about.
Oh no, sorry.
They said
Potter.
Naruto for a second, and I was like,
No, Noto.
What? Okay.
Noto.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He ends up fighting with her on the ski episodes and everything.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then she cries, and I'm just like, suck it up.
So good.
But yeah, the whole bit with the wrestling thing, with Taiga and Ryuji being the villains
That was
and
cute.
the beep, beep, beep,
When he
beep,
had the
beep, beep.
chair was gonna hit her, that was so awesome.
Okay, his makeup. Oh my god. Like when he slicks his hair back, I'm like,
Yeah. Well, that's something I saw a
Who's
couple fans like commenting on apparently because in the this is skipping ahead a bit, but in the Christmas episode where like Ryuji actually like dresses up and is like in that red tux and he's got his hair slicked back, everyone was like, "Oh my god, he looks so handsome." So like when he actually puts effort into his appearance, that's what happens.
Mm-hmm.
Is that like with everybody though?
Yeah, I guess so. But you did get that cool. The bit I really like there is you get the whole thing. Taiga's father doesn't show up; he's an asshole. And then they do that random race thing, and like Ryuji's like so determined, and he gets that like really evil like look on his
oh
face.
my god, that was
Half the
great.
guys like run.
Yeah. And then
Like those jerks.
what jerks?
Like the entire guys unit there, like they were just being butts.
Track team pride.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Shove past
Like
them.
even in the beginning, like, yeah, we got Ryuji, let's go, man. And I'm like, excuse you.
Yeah.
You pick him up.
Well, the part I loved is when Minorin shows up and like her friend throws her a
Pretty
softball
much murders two people.
Exactly. Like you could kill someone.
They never
with
get
that.
back up. You don't know if they're alive. And then she body tackles 4 of them. They just gave up. I'm like, they could have gotten up, but they're
Just
like,
tears.
Yeah.
No. And then they walk across together, and then he buys the picture, and it means
And
he
then,
loves her.
okay, that part she was like, oh, now it's weird.
What
Like
you
when
mean?
when they're, it's like, oh, which one did you buy? Oh, 83. Oh,
I should buy that one.
I
too.
guess I should buy that one. And I'm leaving.
I saw like the thing where Taiga was taking pictures of what's his name,
Kitamura.
like she was
Kitamura.
literally like, kind of stalking him and had all these blurry pictures, like albums full of them. I was like, is this not? It's not a little weird. But then he has a picture of her, so I was like, all right, I can accept that.
Yeah. Well, something that I noticed watching it the second time, Ryuji's talking with Taiga and mentions like, "Oh, you should definitely get this one with you and Kitamura," and
yeah.
she sort of was like, "What? Oh, yeah." You know, and you don't know, and you don't think anything about it at the time, but at the very end, where you see in her student handbook how she has the photo of the two of them from the student fair.
Yeah.
You know, like that's obviously a reference to that.
The
And-
culture. Thing.
Like you see, you're like, hey, wait, behind this picture, and Ami's like, no, I'm gonna take this by.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I know it's there.
Yeah. Yeah, that was
Everyone
another. Although when I
knows.
watched it the first time, I didn't catch those at all. But watching it a second time, I was like, "Oh, there are hints. I see them."
hints to what?
In the very last episode, Ryuji opens up Taiga's little handbook, and she's got a
yeah.
photo of her with Kitamura, and then behind it, there's one of her and Ryuji.
Oh yeah, that alludes to that way early on too. Like there's a few things where you can tell like she's looking at a picture of him instead of someone else.
Yeah,
So they alluded to that for a while.
yeah, and it becomes more and more obvious as the show goes on too. You know, they get to it more.
Like, I don't know. I think what bothered me the most about Kitamura is that, like, he knew very well of Taiga's feelings, but then acted like they were completely best friends and ignored the fact that she's literally tripping over herself trying to talk to him.
Well, I don't think it's that because, like, to Kitamura's credit, you know, they show that flashback, and he basically confessed his love to her, and she completely rejected him.
Right, but, like, now it's, like, I get it, but I mean, like, the whole fact that she did confess, and then he's just acting and just being really overly friendly to her, and I'm like, you're leading her on, stop it.
Yeah, but
Hard.
but in episode 2, he flat out says to her, like, we're just friends, you know.
Right, but I mean, like, the fact that he's still, like, really super duper friendly, like, seems like he's giving her a chance.
Well, I don't know. That just so if someone like asks you out and you say no, let's just be friends. It's
Never
not
talk
okay.
to them again.
I feel like
yeah, you can't be friends with them anymore.
afterwards, like, it would be a little awkward. You probably would distance yourself for a while, but he's like, oh, hey, what's up, guys? And I'm like, get out.
I guess
You're not welcome here yet.
Like, there was just too short of a recovery period. Like,
I don't-
Taiga is still really gushing over him, and everyone sees it. And he's just like, what?
Yeah, I admit he is ignoring it pretty hardcore, but you know, like
I get that he's
he
got a
already
crush on the
rejected her
president.
once, you know.
Yeah, but, like, I get that he has a crush on the president, but I mean, at least he could have been like, hey, Taiga, I mean, like, I'm crushing on this girl right now, and I don't think this is going to happen. But he's like, no, I'm just going to keep leading
well-
you on, smiley face.
I don't know if you've noticed this, but every single character in the show is reluctant to confess their
I
feelings
know,
to anyone.
and it's the most frustrating thing, because I'm sitting there looking at this going, just say something.
I want to see a show for the first time where somebody just flies out and says they like him, they accept it.
Well, remember, that's something we praised about Kids on the Slope because I think it's Kaoru, whatever his name was.
Yeah, he does it like 4 times.
Yeah.
He confessed it to the main chick in like episode 3 or 4, and she rejected him.
And he's like, kiss,
You know.
and she's like, nope.
Yeah, but like if you watch any rom-com show, like or on High School Host Club comes to mind, you know, they go the full 25 episodes, you know, before the two main love interests finally, you know,
They have to
confess, and
go
they don't.
on.
Even then, they don't really confess their love to each other. It's sort of averted in that show.
That's why I like Clannad. There's finality in it.
Well, yeah, but I'm guessing even in Clannad, like they probably don't actually confess their love until near the end of episode, like the first season, right?
Like, it's really obvious, though, and both of them acknowledge it. Like everyone knows.
Well, that's the same case in this show. I mean, the show is called Toradora.
yeah, but they're
you
not
know?
in denial that they're in,
What
like,
does
having
Toradora mean?
affections.
What?
What does Toradora even mean?
It's a combination of tiger and dragon. Like
Tora and Tiger.
I didn't know that.
But yeah,
That's why it's called Toradora.
I don't know. I'm so in love with Kanad. You will understand when you finish it, I promise.
I see. All right.
And you'll be like,
I'll get
Clara,
to it
I
eventually.
understand now. And I'll be like, yes, Alex.
You have been enlightened.
Yes.
Let us transcend.
What do you guys think of the bit where and it's in the Christmas episode where Tyga and Ami show up and sing that little Christmas
So
song
cute.
in English? I don't know. It was cute, but I wasn't the hugest fan of it just because. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's just because of the English. It doesn't sound like an actual like English Christmas song would.
Wow. Way to judge.
I'm sorry.
They sing a different language, thus it's not the real thing.
But they're not. Well, they're singing in our language. They just have the Japanese accent.
Our-
Okay, I
language?
saw this really funny
English.
post. It's relevant to this, I promise. It's like, in English, it's like, all right, I ran this through 3 Japanese translators and 3 native people of the land. I think I got this right. And in Japanese, like, my love for you is happiness and stuff. It's like completely not a sentence. And it's like, what are you guys doing? You're not even trying.
What?
What?
But it's
like-
like, we try so hard and they're just like butchered English. Yeah.
It's like
you
it's
say
like
there's-
2K.
But it's so cute.
good chance in luck.
Get chance and luck.
Would you say it's as
Kiss
good as
you.
the guy from Kids on the Slope? His English?
Okay,
Oh.
his is.
Would you say, because his was heavenly.
His
Oh.
is silky smooth.
Yeah. Well, I'm almost positive that song was sung by an English primarily English speaking like person because there was no hint of an accent in that song.
Was there?
The jazzy song. So you get that whole bit, and then you get what for me is probably like the single saddest moment in the entire show, where Ryuji goes over to Taiga and is dressed up in the bear costume with the Santa hat, and they're like, it's just ridiculously like happy moment where he's swinging her around and
And
like,
she's like, "Do you like my tree?" And he's like, "Thumbs up." And I'm like, "Oh, my
Yeah.
heart." So I knew it was him.
Well,
It
yeah,
couldn't
when-
be anyone else. It's coming from his balcony.
exactly. When he almost like kills himself trying to get across too. And then eventually she figures it out, and takes the hat off or whatever, and like telling him, no, you got to go be with Minarin. That was my Christmas present to you. She's going to be there. I told her to go, and she pushes him out the door.
And
You
starts
know.
crying. And I was like,
And then
"Oh, so alone."
there's this song. It's called "Lost My Pieces" is the name of that particular track on the soundtrack. And basically, whenever you hear that, it's used a couple times throughout the show. Something very sad is about to come. And you get that. I love those shots of that little Christmas tree inside with the candle
Yeah.
inside.
See, like she was like,
Cantina.
"Yeah, it doesn't fit my tree at home." I thought she'd have something, but it's a little glass ornament with a candle inside. I'm like, "Yeah, your ornament's not gonna fit on that."
I am so sorry.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot. Well, we'll get to that in a second. So you get that whole thing, and she reaches down to grab the scarf, and you see her teardrops falling, and she finally realizes that she loves Ryuji, and the music gets all
Wait, she likes
climactic.
Ryuji?
I know, right? What a surprise! And
Okay,
that-
this is something that I have a little bit of complaint about in anime. When they're surprised, they're crying. I don't know about anyone else,
Yeah,
but
they're
you
like,
know
oh,
when you're crying. Your throat closes
you
up
feel
and your
the
eyes
emotions.
water. Your nose starts clogging up. It's not like, oh, wait, I'm crying.
It's like when someone pretends like they didn't know a burp just happened. Like, whoa! Did anybody else feel that? And they're like,
How do you not feel a burp? Like,
Yeah.
honestly, like,
come on.
it's different when it's like, oh, I randomly have a nosebleed. You can't predict that unless you smack yourself in
See,
the face.
the one thing I can commend is when you get shot and don't know you're bleeding. Because you're like, nobody makes me bleed my own blood kind of thing.
Right.
blood.
Like, it's different when you're like, oh, I'm hurt and you didn't know.
'Cause
But I mean, I'm
adrenaline.
pretty sure you can feel yourself starting to
I know.
cry.
That's a moment where I think common sense can be bent slightly for the purposes of drama.
I think about it every single time, though.
I see.
I'm like, you know you're crying.
really
You
bother
can't
me.
breathe when you're crying.
yeah. That's something they do well in One Piece. Like when characters in One Piece cry, it's not like the single tear manly cry of like Hollywood. Like there's snot coming out of people's noses and they're like bawling their eyes out and they look like really ugly and distraught.
Because it's like scientifically
ugly.
proven.
It's
You get 33% uglier when you cry.
Is that a fact?
I don't know, but I saw it like 3 years
That
ago and I've
reminds
stuck
me-
to it. I've stuck to it because it's true.
Oh.
It must be true.
Oh, yeah, you guys know Archer, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole moment where he's like, don't cry, you look ugly when you cry.
Wait, wasn't that Deep Space?
Oh, that's Deep Space 69. You're right. I'm sorry. He's like, don't cry. You look so ugly. That's an Archer,
Like,
too.
don't cry. Don't cry. You look ugly when you cry.
I love that.
That's
This
encouraging.
is so good.
Yeah. So that's
Have you seen the new episode?
There's a new episode?
Yeah.
Watch it right now.
Kenny.
It's part 2 of the Galactic Men.
I'm actually not watching it.
He's
Anyways,
so
yeah.
happy. Yeah, and that's another moment where the animation quality definitely goes up. Like you see whatever Taiga's running out of the building, you know, like chasing after him, which I don't know, was she actually thinking she was going to catch him because he'd left like 5 minutes ago?
Forever hopeful.
But I guess, you know, she goes out there and she's like just weeping in the streets. And of course, Minarine is there and sees it all. You
Because
know,
she's so
because
convenient,
drama demands
you know.
it. You know.
Wait, was she not even at her house and Ruji was going there to see her?
Wait, what?
Ruji was going to see Minarine and Minarine wasn't even there to see him.
No, like
she-
he was going to go to the dance and she was going to go to the dance. And then he's like, wait, I don't have a suit. What do I do? And then they just end up at the same spot. And she's like, hey, don't even try to ask me out. Bye.
Yeah, she basically rejects him because she's trying to be considerate of Taiga's feelings because she basically just was like, I love Ryuji, wow! Right out in the streets in front of her face. You know, and one nice thing I like there, though, is where she's telling him, you know, she doesn't care. Whatever you see her pull her hat over her eyes,
That is
she's
very
probably
commendable.
crying, you know, but not showing any emotion, of course.
Okay, those are like one of the 2 times I actually find her acceptable or tolerable. Acceptable conditions. But like the other time is when like in the end when she like lightly taps his face with her fist like on the lips and then she puts it to hers.
I know.
I'm like, oh my heart.
I know. I didn't realize it the first time, and I actually saw someone comment about that. I was like, "What?" And I went back and rewatched it. It's like, oh my gosh! It's like their first and only kiss, except it's indirect. It's
Like when you drink a drink of someone else, you indirect kiss.
Whose kiss is this?
This is Minarine and Ryuji at the very end, last episode.
So
Because she's like, I got a nosebleed because I fell on my face, and he's like, oh no.
It's not so much a punch. She just like puts her fist next
I mean, if
to
you're
his
making
lips.
out, is it punching repeatedly and like?
She's just like, hey, you do your thing now, okay? And he's like, all right. And then later she's like,
Yeah.
Making out with her hand.
yes.
Well, thanks. And I also love after Minarine basically rejects him and then runs away, he's just sort of standing like dumbfounded, like, wait, did I just get turned down?
And then
he
just fall.
falls back on his.
Wow, Alex, take everything out with me.
Yeah, just like you do during dinner.
I just hit people in the head, all right? Not inanimate objects. Now we're just focused on humans.
Just towards humans. Is that better?
Acceptable. Losses. Yes.
1,000-year dungeon.
1,000-year dungeon.
All right. So moving on, you know, then we get the whole like ski episode bit after that, you know, where they go off to the ski resort to have their little vacation. You know, and you get that whole like, I don't know.
The
this
whole
is
trip is just angst.
Yeah, that's just where everyone's arguing. I was curious, Clara. You know, there's that bit where the guys are going to like mess with the girls for some reason, and they're not there, and then they all hide in the closet,
That
and
was
then
funny.
Taiga is there. You know, and then the girl Minarine, like Ami, and the 2 other girls are all sitting down there talking and doing their whole girl
I'm like,
talk
here
about.
goes the girl talk.
Yeah, is that how?
That's how girls work. We talk about things that we're mad at. It's not like pillow fights and making out. That's not what we do at sleepovers.
You just
That's
what I do this
We
Talk
talk
about
about
relationships.
things that we hate and boys.
boys. I always talk about boys.
Boys are fun topics to talk about.
Well, Alex, you know what we do at bro outs?
What do we do?
You know, like football, video games, and making out. That's what the guys are all about. I mean, come on.
Of course, all
Let's
the
see what
time.
you guys are gonna do. Yeah. So is that what they do in the episode? They talk about things they hate.
Well, basically, Ami, not so subtly, like, is bringing up the whole bit of because she
That's
she
a little
learned.
delicate. She very bluntly brings it up.
Yeah, she
That
was
she's
bringing
totally
up.
in love with Ruji.
Yeah, that basically, that Minarine rejected Ryuji. Like, she knows, and the other 2 girls didn't know. And they're like,
She's
oh,
like,
what?
Oh, Minarine, I heard you rejected Ryuji. Oh, did I say that out loud? Oh, ho, ho, ho.
Yeah,
And she's like,
I know. Whenever Ami does that sort of stuff, it just makes me want to punch her in the face.
oh, yeah, I wish Minarine would have punched her in the
Taiga
face.
does punch
Well,
her in the
and
face
she
a lot.
did eventually. They got into a fight later
Good.
on. You know, which I thought was cool because, like, at the end of that whole argument in the room, you know, they're like, okay, we won't speak of this again. And then when Minarine and Taiga hit her with the sled, like, she gets really antagonistic. It's like, you were hitting me on purpose.
And she's like,
you're still
no.
mad about yesterday. And then Minarine actually, like, gets pissed off and is like, oh, this ain't going down. And they just,
And then they totally catfight, and it's beautiful.
it's beautiful. Yay for fighting.
Yeah, violence.
But then,
Violence
of
also
course, in
happens.
the fight, Minarine's little hair clip that Ryuji had sort of meant to give to her, but really didn't, flies off, and Taiga stupidly is like, "Oh, I gotta go save it. I'm gonna go do danger." Woo!
I gotta do danger.
Pretty much.
Gotta go
Yeah.
fast.
Which I am a little bit surprised. Like they were
No
looking
one
up
else noticed that fence.
exactly. They were standing like right there. They didn't
Was it an
notice.
electric fence?
No, it was just like one of those fences that's
The
got like
orange ones with the holes in it that you see around construction sites.
Oh yeah.
It's just like orange plasticky
Wait, she
stuff.
ran into a construction site?
No, they're at the ski resort. She runs past there like to go down a hill to get
And then
the
falls.
pin and like falls and like collapses. And they're all like looking for her everywhere and can't find her. And finally Ryuji goes out at night and finds her and she's carrying her up the hill and she confesses, thinking that it's Kitamura carrying her, that like you're not doing a good job as the
Patron saint of broken hearts.
yes, the patron saint of broken hearts, because I love Ryuji and I can't stop it. You know.
What did Ryuji like freak out when he heard it, or?
He didn't say anything, and then he's like,
Is
Kitamura, you're the one who carried her up the hill. No questions. And he's like, all right, man.
Yeah.
But then he doesn't tell
Minarin.
me.
Fatal flaw.
And then she's like, what?
Ew.
Wait, what?
No, that's the whole plot of episode 23. Is that basically they're all getting together because Taiga is like giving out these chocolates to all of them, and Ryuji knows that Taiga confessed, but like Clara was saying, he told Kitamura to say that he was the one who rescued her because he's
And then she didn't say anything. She was unconscious.
right, because he had brought up the topic to her, and she was like, "Oh, I could never talk about what I said there. It was so embarrassing," you know. And he sort of takes that to mean like, "Okay, we'll pretend it never happened," sort of thing.
Yeah.
But when they say that out loud in front of Minarin, and she knows
was
the
like,
truth,
wait.
she won't. She's not gonna let that
Oh, no,
slide.
oh my gosh, she didn't.
Yeah.
She like went off on them.
Yeah, which I loved, you know.
Like I wanted someone to say
And
something.
then seeing where Kitamura and Ami like block the doors so Taiga can't run away.
She got really defensive, like a cornered animal.
Yeah,
I was like, oh, you need to calm down, lady.
yeah. It was by that point in the show, it was blindingly obvious to everyone that she liked Ryuji. You know,
But I mean, like, I feel like she could have reacted less volatilely.
of course. Well, she's Taiga. She like kicks people in the face on a regular basis.
I mean, yeah, but I mean, I feel like she'd be even a little bit more shocked and just like a little stunned, not just like, I gotta get out of here, roar, cries.
well,
wah.
basically both of them, Minarin and Taiga, were doing like the same thing where Taiga knew that Minarin liked Ryuji, so she was gonna let Minarin take Ryuji, and then Minarin knew Taiga liked Ryuji, so she was gonna let Taiga take Ryuji. You know, that was the whole dynamic going on there.
They could have just been one big happy family.
The thing is, like, if Minarin liked him from the beginning and she knew he liked her from the beginning, like, it's painfully obvious.
It could have saved so much trouble.
Like, Taiga would have never fallen. Just, oh my god.
Yeah, I will admit, like sort of like Mark
Crying.
said, the whole idea that Minarin liked him from the very beginning and never said anything.
I never saw it.
Me neither. Nothing at all. Ever. No blushing. No anything.
Yeah, there's never any incentive other than
Well, I think it's good though that they didn't hint at it, you know, because it doesn't make it blindingly obvious.
But it
you
would have
know.
given a little bit more credibility.
I guess. But it's shown, though, that she's really good at disguising her feelings. You know, like she's always happy-go-lucky, and then inside she's got all this, like, self-doubt
How
and
many
stuff.
jobs does she have? That's not physically possible.
I love the one where they go to the, like, sushi restaurant she's working at. She's like, don't order this particular dish. And they all three say it, and then she, like, pokes them in the eyes or whatever.
I mean, if someone says not to do something, you're going to do it.
Of course. That's how those things always work, isn't it? You know, and then after that, you know, we get that whole running segment we talked about earlier, which was pretty cool. You know, nice animation there, where Minori finally says like, "Oh yeah, I love Ryuji," and you know, basically she says like, "Yeah, I was doing the same thing you were, you know, like letting you have Ryuji instead of me, you know, but." I wasn't respecting your feelings, you know. I don't remember the exact quotes she's saying, but basically she's like, "I want to see what you'll do, Tiger. You know, what's your decision?" Because I get the feeling that had Taiga like rejected Ryuji, then Minoru would be like, "Well, okay, swoop," you know,
Yeah.
scooped him up or something. Although it's questionable
Yoinks.
whether at that point Ryuji, you know, still had the same romantic feelings for Minori now that he'd sort of gotten attracted to Taiga.
Right.
didn't
So.
they totally make out too?
Well, sort of, because then you get episode, you know, he goes back to the shop and they're like together, and then you get that whole bit where they confront their moms are both there, and this did strike me as a little bit strange how Ryuji's mom is like freaking out at him for like, how dare you try to work a job and make money for yourself so you can go to college? You have to do nothing but study, you know, like. I understand that you want your kid to study, you know, and you want to take the burden of the work, you know, to pay for college and everything, but you're taking it a bit too far, saying he can't like help out at all.
She's childish.
I guess you're right.
It's true.
You know, although it did make me mad when Ryuji, after that like basically says like all those things you're describing are things about you. You know, you never went to college or did anything like that. You know, you're not
irresponsible.
Irresponsible, exactly. And she gets all like teary eyed. And it's like, oh, but she's so sweet.
Yeah, that was like really jerky.
Yeah.
Low blow.
And then Taiga's mom, of course, like his dad, her dad is kind of a jerk.
Yeah.
Taiga's whole family is sort of messed up as we learn. But then we
Taiga, marry me. What?
Yeah, no, I read that in the thing. I was like, marry? Kind of getting close. I mean, kind of like jumping pretty fast.
Well,
if we like each other, let's kiss and get married.
Yeah. Well, what's funny is they have that whole confession scene on the bridge, which this is something I was bringing up. I forget who I was talking to earlier. I really like in shows where they, where the two characters who have been, you know, sort of the main love interest throughout the whole time, when they finally get around to confessing their love for each other, it's not just like, I love you too, you know, that they bring some elements of their characters, like, you know, like that's something I would say about Sword Art Online, you know, Asuna is sort of this like strong-willed tsundere-esque character, you know, throughout the whole show. And then she marries Kirito. And then it's like, well, now I'm just going to be happy waifu and be really nice and not have any personality whatsoever.
Yeah.
You know, and that changes, you know, and I don't like that. Whereas with this, you know,
well, in my fantasy world, he's with that blue-haired girl. So, I mean, you know.
Yeah. And in this, you know, Taiga and Ryuji, you know, like, what is it? Where Ryuji's like talking about how he feels really bad, you know, because
like maybe it'd be better if I was never born or something.
Because my mom would be better off.
And she takes it as I'm going to throw myself off this bridge.
Yeah, I thought that was funny. She's like, "Don't kill yourself because that would be bad," and then push you off the bridge.
And it's like 2 feet of water.
Yeah.
Did anyone else notice that?
Yeah. Well, he's lucky there was 2 feet of water. He could have like drowned otherwise.
Well, I mean, I feel like it would hurt if it was only 2 feet of water.
Yeah, it might break your legs.
Yeah. Well, this is anime. It was very comedic, not like a serious like. This is going to be the dramatic twist of the show that she pushes him off the bridge and he breaks his head and dies. The end.
You should write every anime from now on, Alex.
That would be interesting. No, but I just love their whole bit. You know, she pushes him off the bridge and then they're like arguing back and forth, and he like is gonna say like I love you, and she like jumps off the bridge on top of him, doing something completely ridiculous. And they're like, no, you can't say it before me. I had something to tell you first. And they try to say it at the same time and get interrupted by the phone call, and it's also cute. In keeping with their characters, how they were established before, you know, which I like a lot.
And then they make out.
Not quite. That's episode 25. Then they go back to like Kitamura's place, and they're basically like, "Yeah, we're gonna go elope.
Ami.
Hope you guys are cool with that."
Ami's place.
That's right. It's Ami's place, and they're all like, "Well, we think that's kind of a stupid idea, but we're gonna support you anyways because we're your friends. So here."
I don't know. Like, it was weird how Minarin's like, oh, here, take all of my money. I'm like, calm down, lady. You worked for that. Give him about half.
Yeah. Well, and the fact that Ami was going to give her the keys to their summer house, like they have a place to stay, that's like a big plus right there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's very generous of her.
Yeah.
And then Kitamura's all like, I forget what it was. He do?
He gave them just a joke thing, like some coupons, like at the store or something. And then I did quite like after that where they leave and like Minarin's like, I'm staying here with Ami for a bit. She's like, what? You know, and then after they leave, like Minarin like collapses and is crying. You know?
Ami's like, you want me to watch you cry? And I was like, yes.
But Minarin has a really good quote there that I actually liked a lot. She says, if you trip while running down a hallway, you'll get a nosebleed. If you trip in life, you cry. It's like, it's philosophy from Minarin.
Yeah.
Perfect.
It was still really goofy, though.
Yeah, well, it's goofy, but that's in keeping with her character, too.
Right.
You know, because she's gotten that nosebleed when she's face planted.
Okay, one of the things that, like, Ryuji said once is, like, I've been in love with this oddball since, like, a year ago. Like, he finally acknowledges someone's like, yeah, you're really weird. And he, like, I like this oddball. Like, the way he said that, it was, I don't know, I liked it.
Oh, right.
And I was like, oh, that's cool. Someone actually acknowledges that you're a big weirdo.
Yeah, well, everyone knows she's a weirdo.
I know, but it's
that's
like,
why people like her.
The fact that it's like that's something that he likes about her and doesn't find annoying.
Impressive.
Yeah.
Yep.
Very.
Indeed. So you have Minarin's little breakdown there, which is kind of sad. And then Ryuji goes back to his house, and it's like the mom's like, hey, yeah, I left. Bye. You know, and once again, that's really showing her childishness. You know, which kind of made me a little bit mad. Like, really, you're gonna do that? You know, abandon your kid? Okay, that's cool. And then, but although it is the what's the word I want to use? It's the igniter basically for Ryuji sort of realizing like, hey, maybe eloping's not such
The catalyst?
like the catalyst. Thank you. It's not the best idea in the world. Let's go stay with my grandma and grandpa. And they're like, okay, cool. You know.
Yeah.
And you had that really cute moment at the end of the episode where they show up at their door and he's showing them the watch and it's like, yes, I'm Takasu Ryuji and this is my wife Taiga. And she's like what? What? Yeah. And then we get to episode 25, the final episode, where they do kind of a dirty trick where they say like Ryuji got into some sort of accident just to get the mom to come to the grandparents' place. And because at first she's like freaking out, thinking like that Ryuji had killed himself or something.
Right.
You know.
And then they make up and it's all good.
Yeah. And I thought it was cute how they were talking about how, you know, the grandparents were treating her just like a kid, you know, even though she's like 30 or whatever.
Yeah. It was cute though.
Which is nice. Like like the grandma gives her some cookies or something, and the grandpa's like, "No, this is why she turned out this way. You know, it's because of your bad parenting or whatever."
You're spoiling her.
Yeah, spoiling her. That was it.
And then Taiga leaves.
Well, but before that is the moment where they finally kiss.
Yes.
Which is
Cute.
oh god I wouldn't say I'm like a cold, harsh person, you know, but a show needs to build up, you know, quite a bit of credibility, you know, in a relationship for me to be really get invested in it. And because Toradora builds it over the course of 25 episodes, you know, it's really working. So when you get that scene in episode 25 and they bring back the whole tiger and dragon thing, you know, because, what's the... Taiga puts on the veil, you know, the little blanket. Pie. It's so adorable. And he's like trying to say the vows and like can't remember them. And then she says, we are tiger and dragon said to stand together as equals since ancient times. We don't need vows because we'll always be together, right?
Did you memorize that?
No, I got it written down here. But it's one of my favorite quotes from the show. And that's just such a moment, you know. And then they finally kiss and Taiga's talking about how it was like a... you know, dry and rough, but also very warm, you know.
It's like it's cold. Maybe you should do it again.
Yeah.
And again, and again, and again.
I think
and again.
I saw fans refer
Moichido.
to that. Yeah, refer to it as the Moichido moment because it's
Moichido.
like more. And it's like, oh, it's so sweet, you know.
So cute. And like,
Yeah.
I don't know, she was like timid, but then still had her like aggressive personality. It's
Yeah.
like, do it again. Again.
Yeah.
It was really cute. And like, she's so little. Oh my God. Like, okay, I have a friend just like that in high school, and it's the cutest thing when she's with her boyfriend. And oh man, it's like the same thing. It's like, you're so little, and it's like Aaron and Brittany.
Oh
Yeah.
It's like she's so little and he's so tall. Oh gosh,
Contrast.
he's cute.
Yeah. Yes, and then as you were saying earlier, we get to the whole bit where Taiga leaves, which the first time I watched the show, like, really kind of pissed me off. I'm not gonna lie, because I was like,
I was salty
really?
about it.
But after rewatching it, though, it makes some sense because she's basically her whole reasoning behind it is like, you know, Ryuji's got his life together, you know, and he's got like this family that loves him and stuff. I've been so useless and like dependent on him and everything. I need to go out and sort out my own life, you know, by myself, and only then will I be like ready to be with him, you know. Mm-hmm. And it's like it makes sense, you know. And then it would have pissed me off if like she left and that was the end of the show, but the fact that they skipped to a year later and, you know, they meet up again, you know, that makes it work.
She's in a little broom cupboard.
Yeah.
It's adorable.
It's so adorable. And during that whole bit where he's like running up to this classroom, you're hearing the repeating of those lines from that monologue of the very first episode, you know. And I love at the very end, they're talking, you know, she's like, I haven't grown a single millimeter. And he's like, guess what? What? I love you. And she just gets like this really like embarrassed look on her
And
face.
smashes her face into his.
Yes.
It's like, how did you say that in broad daylight? What are you thinking?
Yeah.
Baka.
Broad daylight, you know, and you get that shot of the two birds on the wire like flying away. You know, very symbolic and all that.
They're cute.
You're so cute. And I also like that whole bit where they go and get the star, you know, and like take that class picture, and you know, Minarin has this whole thing about like how, you know, we need to shine brightly, you know, just so Taiga can see us even though we're far apart, you know, and like this whole star analogy thing. There's some really good writing in that last episode.
But it's funny because I was sitting there going, oh, this is kind of cheesy. And then Ami's like, wow, this is cheesy. I'm like, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, I mean, the whole bit is cheesy, but it's so sweet, and you
Yeah.
know, I think that the show had been serious enough and like built up enough emotion that it works.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you try to pull that stuff off in like episode 2, people will just like gag from the sweetness of it.
I was like on the verge of having like that gaggy feeling. I'm like, that's almost too much. You better stop soon. And then she does. And I'm like, good.
Yeah. And even though I didn't like Ami like very much at all, you know, she showed glimmers of hope, but overall was just kind of an asshole the whole show. I did find it quite sad where she's like talking with Ryuji while they're looking for the star. She's like, and you know, I'll always love that person even if he doesn't love me in return or something like that. He's like, oh, what? Sorry, didn't hear that. And she's like, nothing. Of course.
And it's like something like, and you never, like she was always like, maybe you would give me a chance. And he's like, what? And she's like, I didn't say anything.
Yeah.
It happens a lot.
Things
Yeah.
like that bother me so.
Yeah, it happens a lot. There's also a bit where I think she's like saying, she's talking with one of like the girls, I think, like, oh, you could get any guy you want. You know, you're so pretty. And she's like, I just can't get the one guy I actually want. You
Right.
know? Which, you know, it makes for a good dilemma for her character, I think. So, yeah, that's the last episode, and it wraps up, and it's all wonderful. Something we didn't really talk about, just more general stuff about the show. You know, like I said, I think there are a few pieces of music, you know, like that Lost My Pieces thing, and there are a few that are like pretty addictive. The first opening, I know you particularly like. How does it go again with your favorite word, Kenny?
I can't remember how it goes.
It was boule, remember?
I know the word, but I don't remember how the beginning goes.
It's like boule, 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 ba ba da 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 da.
I was excited because I thought it was the word I liked. That was it. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't sing it very well, but that's
That opening was
basic
the
beat.
best.
Yeah, the second opening's good, but it's not as good as the first.
My sticky love.
Although I do quite like the second ending theme.
Yes.
It's that one about oranges or whatever.
Yeah.
I quite like the theme of that one. So yeah, overall thoughts on the show. As for myself, I comparing this like the 3 other slice of lifey, you know, romantic comedy shows that I've seen that are like really good. You know, I'd say Ouran High School Host Club is probably the funniest overall. But the character and romance stuff in that I don't think was as good as Toradora. And then Azumango Daioh was funny and the perfect example of slice of life, I think, just because it's just like focused on these random events.
I have so many feels for that show.
I know. But that's the thing, though. Like, it doesn't deal with any sort of romances or it deals with relationships as far as friendships go. But
And like sometimes it's a little bit of a relief.
yeah,
There's really no drama.
that's the thing. Yeah, it's very
It's
lighthearted.
very nice.
Yeah.
I'm jealous.
I mean, the most dramatic it gets is like when you think a cat has like disappeared or died or things like that. Mm-hmm. But then honestly, I think Toradora is my favorite of the 3, just because like I said earlier, it balances the comedy with the drama and the romances so well. And I just every time I watch this show, I laugh at certain jokes like we've mentioned before. And when it gets those more emotional bits in like the last 3 episodes, like I've rewatched those moments over and over again just because they're so like dramatic, after they've built up all this tension to that point. So good on them. Really love this show. Clara, what are your thoughts?
I very much enjoyed this show. I love the characters. Like there was just so many layers to every character. Like, well, minus Ryuji because he did even have a little bit with his dad issues, but
That was pretty minor in the show.
right. But like a lot of characters, especially side characters, like had different layers and stories, and they all somehow centered around Ryuji.
Like the teacher getting her little motel or whatever
Yeah,
it
her
was.
condo.
Condo, yes.
I thought it was actually her condo that burned to the ground that when she was telling about it. And I was like, oh no, not the condo. That's all you had.
Oh, that's what I thought too.
But then it was like, no,
Would've
you're
been
lodged, so
great
we're not
karma.
going to the beach. Hoi. But I really enjoyed it. Like I liked how it ended. I kind of wish there would have been like a little bit more like just showing them in like relationship things. I'm not sure.
Well,
But-
comparing it to Clannad, that's the whole idea of after story, right? Like what happens
right.
after
I
they
mean, after
confess
story
their
is like
love.
literally like season 2.
Right.
So I mean, I don't want them to make a season 2 of Toradora because it's perfect as it is, and I don't want them to mess anything up. But
Well, but it could be good.
if they made like maybe like an overture episode or something, just like Like, oh, bonus episode. There
should-
you go on
well,
a date. Or
There
something
actually
like that.
is. There's a OVA episode that was released like with the DVD
Really?
and Blu-ray and stuff. Yeah, you can find it online. I think it's just episode 26. It's basically this whole thing with Kitamura's bringing in like the boxed lunches that his grandma made, and they're like really extravagant. And Ryuji like takes it as a challenge and like keeps trying to beat his grandma like with the quality of his boxed lunch. You know, and basically like he keeps trying harder and harder, but keeps on failing. And the end, it's like, well, you know, the grandma was making things that Kitamura liked. It was all based around what Kitamura needed. So a boxed lunch is just based around love. Mm-hmm. You know,
I mean, like, I kind of want something
super
like
sweet.
romancy. I don't know.
I don't know. And there is a little moment with Taiga and Ryuji at the end, you know, and they're having like this little picnic and stuff. So there's a little bit of a hint of that, but it's more comedy focused.
Right. But, like, it was really cute, and I enjoyed it.
Yeah. Kenny?
Well, the show was good. I liked it. I mean, like you guys pretty much covered everything. So, yeah.
Yeah.
It's
that's-
just one
Favorite
of the shows-
character?
I liked. Oh, I got the H name again.
oh, Haruta.
Haruto's definitely my favorite character. He's fantastic.
I don't
He's
know.
silly.
I still like Minari the best.
It's a show I think I like about the side characters actually had stories. Like that teacher was hilarious the entire time. She's
Yes.
just so low. And that one moment they're talking about, like I think Taigo's mentioning, oh yeah, that single teacher or whatever. And you see her outside the door, just looking really
And,
depressed.
like, when they were doing the
The wrestling thing.
yeah, and it's like a soulmate of our teacher, and she's like, no, my soulmate. And they're like, take her away.
They carried her away. It's like Shadow Army, go! That like the one nice thing that looked like Ami-chan did was when she like said the teacher looked really nice, kind of thing, and it made her really happy.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah,
just-
she reminds me a little bit of the teacher from Madoka because she's always also being like really
Yes,
passive aggressive about her
yes.
boyfriends and stuff.
It's like, boys, when a girl makes you eggs, you be happy about those eggs. And they're all like, what?
It would. Or when technically a woman above 30, you know, may be considered to be above, you know, childbirthing age, but that should not be a requisite for blah blah blah. You know, I don't know. Yeah,
they're all
the teachers
like,
were all great. So
I mean, even the teachers in Nazuma and Gadayo were crazy.
oh god, the teachers are because they're like pretty major characters. in
Oh, they
Azuma
are,
and Daioh.
especially the creepy one.
Oh god, he's amazing.
Oh my god, he's the worst.
We should do Azumanga Daioh for this.
Oh my god, that
sometime.
would be great.
It would just be us rambling about the characters because there's no plot to talk
No,
about.
well, I mean, that kind of is a plot of this, them growing up, and
Yeah.
they have like sort of kind of arcs. Like, oh, they get a cat. Oh, they go to the beach.
Their hair changed a little. Whoa.
Like, that's what I like though, because they change. It's like, oh, I cut my hair.
Eh.
Oh, I'm growing a little taller.
Well, they physically change. Character-wise, they stay pretty
Right, but
much
I mean,
the
like, I
same.
like when shows do that. Like, they show progression.
Rather than Ash, who's eternally a 10-year-old.
Okay, there's a reason for that, and we're not going to get into it right now.
Yes,
but I
we've
mean,
talked about this already. All right, so real quick, let's have a quick debate about what shows we want to do over the summer.
Bobo, 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 bobo.
yes!
The previous summer we did
Yes.
FMA and
Which was so
Brotherhood,
good.
you know, to come back to do that big mega podcast. Well, where would we find Bobo? I don't think it's on streaming anywhere unless.
You don't need. You can just search bobo, bobo, bobo free online, and every single episode's there.
I know, Kenny. Trying to avoid that as much as possible. That's the
Hey,
whole
it's only
point.
legal for them. It's legal for us.
Okay.
That is true.
So, some of the shows I was thinking about, we've got like Soul Eater, Code Geass, Bo,
Yes!
Trigun, Oran High School Host Club, Shakugan no Shana, Monster. Actually, I didn't bring that up. Apparently, have you guys heard of Monster at all?
I think you mentioned it to me
Yeah, it's-
earlier today.
It's like a crime drama show, and I saw
last night.
yesterday that Guillermo del Toro is apparently working with some writers to like produce a HBO show of Monster, like live action in America. So it's like an anime being
America.
adapted into a American TV show.
And I'm
That could be
skeptic.
dangerous. Yeah, I was gonna
I am
say.
skeptic.
No, it's
I'll only accept you.
Monster is very much a show that could have been done live action. Like it's very much, you know, serious and, you know, focused on like characters and the crimes that are going on and things
I
like
think
that.
what they really, they need Psychopath season 2.
That'd be awesome.
They need Chorus season 2 as well.
Well, that's actually coming. We
I know,
that.
but I mean, it needs to be a
Eventually.
little bit more fast. A little
More,
faster.
please.
More.
Gotta go faster.
Gotta go fast.
Gotta go fast, like Sonic.
Yeah.
Cool.
No.
So, personally, if my vote would probably be to do
Bobo.
Code Geass and Soul Eater
Bobo.
because they're both like 50 episodes shows. But since we have 3.5 months of summer, I think it's not too unreasonable to, you know, do those two. And I've already seen both. I know a lot of us have seen Soul Eater already.
Which you already have.
So that's my vote. Claire, what would you like to do?
I'd be up for Soul Eater
Okay.
and Bobo.
All right.
Trigun and Bobo.
We're not doing Bobo.
I mean, I'd be up for Trigun too because Kenny's so enthusiastic.
So good.
Okay.
I'm okay with
And I've
so
already
seen
seen
Soul
most
Eater,
of
so
Gios.
I'm okay
Right.
with Soul Eater. Like, if we had to pick two, Soul Eater and Trigun are my two.
Okay. Well, I definitely want to do Code
Same.
Geass eventually, but
Honestly,
I do too,
At
but
this point, we're almost too late. I mean, I'm saying we've waited so long. We should probably do Soul Eater. It's one we've talked about continuously.
yeah.
So I would
no,
say
we
my
definitely
vote-
need Soul Eater is definitely
That's my number one. Like for the summer. Second
Numero
Trigun.
uno.
So is it sounding like Soul Eater and Trigun then? Make those our
Sure.
two
At least
shows?
Soul Eater.
At least.
Well, I think we can say both, and
Yeah.
then when we come back, maybe the first podcast of the new year will be Soul Eater, and the second will be Trigun.
Yes.
That sounds like a plan. Okay, so we've still got a few minutes left before Logic crashes on us. So I thought I would, since this is sadly our last podcast, we're finals week is next week, and then we'll all be gone, going home for the summer. So I thought we might.
Actually, I was gonna invite you guys to my beach house. We're gonna have
Whoa.
romantic tension, and
we're gonna go to a
man.
cave and get scared.
yeah, it's gonna be awesome. You guys want to go? I
Yeah.
have a model friend who's there.
Oh wow.
Yeah, her name's like I think it's like. No, wait, don't tell me. No, it's crap. No, I can see her in my head. Just keep talking. I'll remember it.
Okay.
Amy?
But I
It's
was
better than that.
Amy?
I was thinking about just sort of talking about like what our favorite moments from this year of like Shredded
Aw,
Cels
man.
are. For me, it's
Can't hear your face.
I can't remember her name.
it's Kenny's thinking face.
Oh god.
Yoko?
No, it's
No.
better.
I don't know. For me personally, like there's so many like funny moments or great moments from this year.
My Valentine?
I'm looking it up. Don't worry.
He's still researching. I think probably the single funniest moment for me may have to be Clara's whole freak
Oh,
out
man.
on what was that the Anohana?
Scarlett Johansson. She'll be there.
Okay.
I couldn't remember her name for anything.
Oh, yay, I'll definitely go.
Okay, yeah, so she's gonna be there. Anyways, yeah.
Famous actress. Couldn't remember her name. Good job.
Shut up.
No, I couldn't remember her name earlier because I saw pictures of her from a different movie. I'm like, I know your face. What are you from?
Is her name like Joe Hansen?
Indeed. Like
Yeah.
Gallet.
like Aaron Hansen.
A little
Don't
bits.
bring that up.
So yeah, I think the whole Clara. What are you doing, Kenny?
And I fell, okay?
The whole Anohana Clara centric episode, and especially the calling Kenny moment at the very end, like
You
That
betrayed
confused me
it was,
so much.
it was such a spontaneous moment,
You
and it just
betrayed me.
happened.
I just didn't do what you want what felt right, and you didn't.
I did.
I'm sorry, I didn't. I got called up. I'm on a podcast. I have to act cool, guys.
Yeah, you did a good
So
job.
sorry.
And
It's okay.
so
I still
Your
love
interests
you.
were what I put first.
that was
Boogie boogie.
such a beautiful, spontaneous thing. So
That's my favorite thing.
That's my favorite moment of Shred Cels this year. What about you, Clara?
I have a lot actually. The one
one do
time
you shit the
Jeremy
most?
fell asleep, that was funny.
Wait, he fell asleep?
Yeah,
I remember
he
that.
was so exhausted, and he just fell asleep. And we're just like Jeremy, and he just wakes up all startled, like what? We're like, you fell asleep, and he's like, oh man, I'm so sorry. And we're like, it's okay. My first podcast because it was so magical. Everything about it was magical.
Because we sang the Soul Eater song on that one.
That and you let
That
me
was
hold
your
the
first
camera, and
one.
I was like, oh my god, I'm holding a camera. And I'm like, you trust me with this? I never even met you before. Oh gosh. And then Mark comes in and he doesn't have a beard, and everyone freaks out that he doesn't have a beard. But I don't know Mark had a beard, so I'm just like, okay, cool, hi, nice to meet you. I don't know that you don't have a beard, and so everyone was just freaking out. And then I met Andrew for the first time, and I think his name was really the only one that really stuck really well because I had recently watched Chronicle, and I looked at him and I was like, you are Andrew. So, and I remembered you were really funny, and Mark agreed with me on a lot of stuff. And Alex, you said your name a couple times, so I remembered your name. And was Matt on that one? I don't think so.
No.
Was he?
I don't think so.
I remember Matt from somewhere. I don't know. That was fun. That was my first one. It was really nice.
Yep. Good times.
Then just like there were certain moments where I just remember laughing so hard I'm crying. I just can't remember exactly what they were, but like
You weren't there for Matt's freak out. Were
I
you?
wasn't. I probably would have died though.
Oh, that was a beautiful moment. His whole Angel Beats freak out during the top 10 TV shows podcast. That's what that was. Mm-hmm. All right. Kenny, what about you? Favorite moments?
Well, the sing the Soul Eater Marks, that was magical. And then actually, anytime we sang, that last time was awful. And that's what made it so good.
what, the Gurren Lagann one?
Because none of us knew it. We're just like, woo!
Hey, I knew it for your
None of us
information.
knew it.
Hey, no, actually, the last one technically we did is was the Pokemon Heroes one. We did a pretty good job with that.
That, and I think it's more, I don't think you noticed, but one of the things that was really funny, I just remember that I was enjoying was, I can't remember, somebody was going on about something, so Mark and I just both at the same time sat back and sank down into our chairs like this. And we're like, oh no!
You're breaking everything, Kenny.
And then we sank down and we looked over and like, we eventually got up, we were just both sitting, looked at each other, we're like, yeah. It was a moment we
Yeah, well,
had.
sometimes I'm just looking at my podcast notes, so I don't even see the other half of the room.
Oh my god, Jeremy continuously makes terrifying faces at me.
I know.
And then no one else sees them.
Oh, I see them every single time.
No, I see them, and I
Thank you.
try not to say anything because
Oh,
it's like,
and the tablet thing, we got really mad and took it away.
Yeah,
Because we were like, Drew thing on tablet now. It's just like, no! And then he like took it away. He's like, your happiness is no. And like, said you can't get this till the end. And Matt's like, but my tablet.
yes.
Just like that too, because he does that accent sometimes.
He does.
his Animu accent. Yeah, I was thinking about this today because when the first podcast we did of this year was the Full Metal one. That was episode 10 number wise, and now we're on 33. So we've done 24 podcasts this year alone, and there's
I think your math is a little off.
No, technically, since 10 was the first.
Oh, yeah,
10
okay.
counts
I
as
thought
one.
about the same.
Technically, it
I
was
guess so.
from 9 to
Oh, okay.
33. But
Okay.
if you think about that, there are 30 weeks in the school year, so we did 24 episodes. So we only mixed 6 weeks of this whole
Which
like
accounts for
school
every
year.
Well, I mean, we did do 2 a week those couple of weeks in the beginning of the year.
Well, no, we were doing one week and one the other week because that was when we were still bi-weekly. This whole semester we've been doing it weekly.
Right, but
So-
I mean, like, early in the year, I remember being on one podcast with you, and then I'd go on a podcast with Matt, and then it
Yeah,
was like
that
twice a
lasted
week,
for
and-
like 2 episodes.
Yeah,
then-
and it's like, this is too much.
yeah,
Too much.
But the fact that we've only missed like 6 weeks of 30,
Which was break.
Well, no, that this is counting just school years, like school time stuff, not breaks, obviously. But you
And
know,
one of them was Jim Gaffigan, which was excusable because we
Yes.
had tickets for that.
yes, and he was hilarious.
Jim Gaffigan is greater than Shredded Cels. I'm sorry.
I guess I can handle being better or being worse than a professional comedian.
This is my new
I
favorite
mean,
moment.
you can't say that you didn't enjoy that
No,
immensely.
it was amazing.
I was next to Alex the whole time.
Yeah. that's
Okay,
true.
as soon as he started making puns, I was like,
And Kirk texted me immediately. I was like, "Ham!" And I laughed really hard. I was
Because
like,
didn't Aaron like immediately look at you when he started doing the
yeah,
puns?
and I looked at him and God, I remember
moments.
it was good stuff.
Yeah. So, and we want to thank all you listeners out there for
long,
listening to us. This.
Farewell.
Oh, that's the Bear in the Big Blue House song.
What are you talking about? That's from that one movie. The one with
Oh, no,
Mary
you're right.
Poppins. Wow. Is that from
Wait.
the Bear in the Big Blue House? That's where he's like,
No.
so long.
No, that
I'm a
God.
bear.
No, that is from something. I'm gonna find it. But
Dude, Mary Poppins, so long, farewell. If
Avita
you just
say
goodbye-
adieu.
Yeah, that's from Mary Poppins.
no, but I'm thinking of
Oh.
a different song that's
Adieu.
those same lyrics. I'm gonna find it. Don't
I mean,
worry.
it's a famous song. It's a lost.
Do you think-
After the podcast, Kenny, we'll settle this.
I need to go, actually. I'm sorry.
All right.
do you
So.
do you think I should mention my theory about our listeners and what they think
That
we
they're all
look like?
nudists.
You've got 57 seconds.
Go.
Okay, so I had an idea about our listeners that they should probably like tell us what they think that we look like based on our voices, and you're not allowed to look at pictures of us, and you have to tell us what you think that we look like based on our voices.
And whoever
Yes.
gets the best one gets a free dinner with me.
There you go. That's
Oh my
that's
god,
your
that's a
assignment
great
over the
prize.
summer.
Can
so,
I enter?
Yes, you can.
Oh
definitely.
boy!
So,
My name's Kenny.
email us at techheads at avwproductions.com. Follow us on Twitter at techheadsou. Like us on Facebook. Subscribe to us on iTunes. Do all that good stuff.
If you want to date me, Kenneth_McNulty, I have a girlfriend, but I'll appreciate it anyways.
Now kiss.
now kiss. All right. So we'll see you guys next year. So long.
Spooky boogie.
Farewell.
Goodbye. We love Toradora so much.
Nerd.
Like, imagine this is your ear.
This product is copyright AVW Productions 2012.